stuff. Now behind my back, won't be long till you share it in a group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. That's how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you can talk about. Hello everybody, how you doing this fine? Thursday, November 20th. I'm doing fine. Okay. I will say I'm a little bit brain scrambled. Like I am kind of seeing stars. I have been researching like in the depths of the public records for hours this morning. First of all, I started investigating a Baker Act that had happened in Florida. I think unrelated to this case, but at this point, I mean, the web always webs back, so we'll see. And then after I got some information about that Baker Act, then I jumped right into investigating the potential guardianship of Megan the Stallion, which is in absolutely no way where I thought that I was going to end up when I started covering the Tory Lanez case. But basically today is day 4 of a civil trial between famous rapper and performing artist Megan the Stallion, and a YouTuber, blogger, journalist, vlogger, influencer. She's been called many things. Grams Milagro Cooper. Okay, so today's day 4, and this is the lawsuit that has really drawn in a bunch of influencers, a bunch of social media personalities. This is the same lawsuit that DJ Academics was deposed for, and Aiden Ross. Whoever just said the hair tells you that I'm really tired. My hair tells you nothing about whether I'm tired. And if it does, then I'm not tired at all because it looks awesome and wonderful. And I grew all of this myself. Look how long it is. It goes all the way down there. I mean, it's a little stringy at the ends, girl, but that's organic. Okay. Grown out of my own scalp. Maybe I'm tired from growing all this hair. Okay. I'm bragging about my hair because it actually started going bald like 2 or 3 years ago. Like seriously, like I had a bald spot right there. So I'm very proud that I have grown it back. So anybody talking about my hair, no, you're definitely on the wrong person's channel, not mine, not my hair. Anyway, okay, so back to what I was talking about. So Megan the Stallion, she's like this famous rapper or whatever. And like personally, truly, I don't have that. I know. Thank you so much, Keely. Like some people don't have taste, or they just trying to troll me. And we're going to talk about that. Actually, we're going to talk about the trolling of it all, because that's one of the reasons I'm kind of seeing stars. I personally have been the victim of a lawsuit, and I bring this up every time I talk about this because I can't not see what I personally have been through. And the reason is because there were people who, like, it's kind of a mind F word. Like, these people came in, I'll say it was maybe 4 of them, but it could have been like 15 of them. I don't exactly know how many it went up to, but it was like people just basically like joined as fans or whatever, pretty much literally out of nowhere. And it was in connection with a lawsuit and things that were about to get filed with other attempted lawsuits. Now, I will say, in retrospect, just looking back on it, every single one that has been decided, I won. Okay, so I win the lawsuits. But these people came in and they were very vocal, very aggressive, very helpful group. And I am impervious to love bombing. Like if you love bomb me, then I get suspicious. It doesn't work like on me where it's like, oh my God, I love them so much because they're so nice to me. No, I'm like, I don't know about that. So they were love bombing me, and they were like, basically like, oh my God, I love what you're doing so much. They were volunteering to do all this stuff for me, making stuff. They were volunteering to do stuff. And they were very pushy about it. Like, I stay in my little hole over here. Okay. I stay in my cave, and I sometimes I venture out to go to Whole Foods or like a court hearing. But that's like really, honestly, I don't want to leave my house. I love my house. It's not even like, oh, I'm scared to leave what's a better place than my house that I live in with my energy and my stuff? I don't wanna go out there. I don't want to. I like it over here. So, I really don't venture out a lot. So these people, they would start to offer to do stuff for me, and I really didn't take them up on any of it. One of them, for example, was like, "I'm gonna go and do a fake apartment tour. I'm gonna go do a fake apartment tour of one of the subjects of the, investigations that you did." And I was like, "Don't do that." Like, there was a lot of stuff that felt like, why? I wouldn't do that. So why would you think that I would want you to do that? Like, unless I'm asking you to do it. They were, in my opinion, trying to get me wrapped up in a bunch of drama, a bunch of interpersonal, like, they would get in fights with each other and then try to drag me into it, which was always unsuccessful. And again, they were just trying to wrap me up into stuff, like, whenever they wouldn't whenever they wouldn't be able to successfully get to me, they would then try to go to people who they knew could get to me. So, like, and by get to, I just mean, like, get a message to me, like, "So and so wants you to know that there's some drama going on between 2 grown adults, and for some reason it needs to become your problem. So, oh my god, there's drama." And, like, if that wouldn't work, if they couldn't get their DM to me, or if I wouldn't, respond to their DM, they would message it to somebody who did have DM access, proximity to me. And it really, like, has taken watching the Milagro case play out, watching a couple other cases play out, and a recent incident that has kind of brought this all into a different focus for me, where it's like, I knew it at the time, I felt it at the time. There was bait. Remember, there was that deep fake pornographic imagery or whatever. I'm in the appeals court right now. I'm in the appeals court right now. I literally today, I have to, or my lawyers have to submit an appellate brief, a reply brief. This case has gone to the same judge at the district court level 3 different times. There were 4 or 5 total amended filings or whatever. It's a 4th amended complaint. I won every time. The first 2, 3 times, the first 2 times the judge dismissed it, it was without prejudice, so she could bring it again. So I've, like, literally gone through, like, 3 or 4 rounds of fighting the same exact lawsuit, and I keep winning. Finally got dismissed fully, and now she appealed it, and now I'm fighting back against it. And in this lawsuit, because this Milagro thing, the Megan P versus Milagro Cooper thing, is happening, at the same exact time too, as me having to revisit all of this stuff. Of course, before your lawyer submits stuff in court, you're supposed to read it. So I've, been reading it or whatever, and so it's like, this deep fake AI pornographic, yeah, I'm in the appeals court, and my legal fund is linked below. If y'all would like to contribute, I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much. But it is exhausting, and that is another reason why I do feel, and I've always told y'all, I do have a bias toward, meaning in favor of Milagro, even though I've never spoken to her, I've never talked to her, we don't speak, we don't talk. I don't think she's ever even mentioned my existence, which is totally fine. And I personally, like I just said, I know exactly why. There are risks associated with exercising your God-given inalienable rights. Not only Milagro, but also Demori. Demori Hadley, I have not spoken to. I have not spoken to her, with her, messaged her since the interview aired, and since that gag order in her case against Desiree Perez, against Desiree Perez, and at all, I haven't spoken to her either. And it's not because I don't, and you're hearing, like, Armand Wiggins, who is at the Milagro trial, and Donat, who is at the Milagro trial, saying different versions and iterations of, we don't, like, really feel like we can talk, especially to Milagro. Milagro's telling people, I can't go to dinner with you because until the trial's over and stuff like that. And so I personally know firsthand that powerful people with more money than me, or definitely more access than me, more resources than me for sure, and probably more money too. They have taken things that I didn't even say and make it seem like I did say it. They have taken things that third parties have commented on my Instagram and made it seem like I commented it. There was that HBO Max hit piece documentary about me, full of lies, full of false, slanderous, defamatory statements. And I want to draw your attention back to that HBO Max documentary because it's going to, I believe, remind you, or you will be reminded of it when we get to something that we're going to talk about today. Now, today, I'm committed to getting through all of the rest of day 3, which was yesterday's trial, and we might be here for a while, so settle in. She has thanked me on Station Head. Well, shout out to her. Shout out to her. And I am biased in favor of her. I am rooting for her in this trial. And at the first day of the trial, I even posted a tweet and I was serious and I meant it. That I was praying for her because this isn't just a lawsuit. And I don't have to talk to Milagro Grams Cooper to know it. I have been through and am going through the same exact type of warfare. Now, is it the same exact people behind it? I'm 2 degrees of separation away from linking it up. All right. Maybe 1 degree of separation away if you count Dina LaPolte. Actually, let me show y'all what I've been working on. This is going to be a little bit of a slower day just because I feel like it and I want to take it slow. Like I don't like to feel rushed. And I feel like the last few live streams I've felt rushed, not because of y'all, no one's fault, but just my own. Hold on. This is the Diddy web. And this right here I had already had on here. This part was already in existence. Tory Lanez exposing the record label. Okay, so there's this Meg the Stallion, the pool party. So y'all have seen this part of the web. But then just right over here, I just started now like a little Milagro lawsuit aspect of this web. And we're going to get into talking about Travis Ferris, the potential perhaps guardian. And I'm when I say guardian, I don't mean in a legal sense, although I don't know. I will say that. But I'm looking into him and stuff like that. And there's people on Twitter saying Meg had a power of attorney. But then you go back to the trademarks. And the first one that filed any trademark here was Dina LaPolte, which is a very powerful, very famous entertainment lawyer and is publicly friends or friendly at least with Lou Taylor. So when I say I'm 1 degree of separation from clicking it all up, this is what I mean. Okay, so am I saying it's the same people? No, I'm not saying that. I'm actually saying I don't know. I'm actually saying it would be unlikely. But I do know the lawfare aspect of it. Okay, I know what that feels like. And I also know what it feels like to have like a group of people who come in and pretend to be your supporters then turn on you. So I will draw your attention back to the HBO hit piece documentary full of slanderous lies and defamatory statements about me, and mischaracterizations. And I will draw your attention. Do y'all remember those 2 carnival freaks who went on the documentary and pretended to be my followers and my fans? It was one I was in an interview with these people, and a lot of y'all have asked, like, why did I interview with them? I should have known they were gonna da 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 da. I kind of did know they might, but I did hope, at some point I don't want to fall fully like at any point into like full on cynic, full on like tinfoil hat, before I give things a good faith effort. Yes, the lion looking lady. Yes, she does look like a lion. That is true. And I like to give a little bit of good faith, especially before I'm gonna, drag somebody across the internet. If they gave me the opportunity to say my side of things and I didn't take it, then what I'm gonna look like trying to, argue with their narrative after the documentary comes out. So just so that you are aware, and I reserve the right to change my mind, I have changed my policy on this. I'm not going to be in any documentaries unless I'm the executive producer from here henceforth, because shame on you if you fool me twice. However, I interviewed with these people for like 7 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours. I don't exactly know. It was like hours and hours and hours and hours under this huge light, the biggest light I've ever sat up under. And it was hot. And I was literally physically ill the next day and maybe even the day after, just from like the toll it took on me to sit under that light. And they had me walk in this place and that place and trying on different outfits. And to be fair, to be completely transparent and forthcoming, the people I interacted with on that day, they were like perfectly fine. The issue came with the higher ups of this documentary company. I have reason to believe that they have some type of connection to Mark Leta from Soft White Underbelly, who is my op, but I won't bore you with that at the moment. But I will remind you of the hit piece documentary that they made about me on HBO, or they aired on HBO. And I will remind you that they had two freaks, two carnival clowns, pretending to be my followers, my supporters. And they went on this hit piece documentary. Now, again, this hit piece documentary was also starred in by my op Lima, who sued me, the one who I'm in court right now, filing still shit to this very day, right now in the appeals court. This is like close to $1 million in legal fees. And this is one of the reasons why, and I truly do respect and appreciate all 4 or 5 people who are going to court every day. I'm going to rely on all of their coverage because shout out to them. They're there in the courtroom and I'm not, whether you like them or not. Shout out to them. And I don't know any of them. I don't know any of the people that are there in court. Okay. So I'm be reading their stuff, including Megan, Armand, Donat, and Pam, who I think I might have heard of her before, but Donat and Pam, I've only kind of peripherally heard of. Armand, I had followed his coverage before. Megan, I had followed her coverage before. But in this, like, hold on, get rid of this. It's using up all my processing. Okay. My point of bringing this up is to say there's other content creators covering this case, which again, fully hats off to them. I am literally a lady sitting in my house across the country. I'm not trying to any way demean or belittle or start any beef with anybody, but like this is still like my channel where I get to say what I want. So I'm going to be doing that. I've seen other content creators covering this case who are there in the court who are, saying like, Milagro took it, extra far. She took it too far. And they are saying sentiments like, if you don't fill in the blank XYZ LMNOP, then you won't get sued. They can't sue you for da-da-da-da-da. They can't sue me for da-da-da-da. Oh, yes, they can. Okay. Take it from me. I have won 3 times in federal court and about 5 restraining orders in about 4 different jurisdictions. I win every time. So that means there was really no grounds. There was really no grounds. It all gets dismissed before trial. None of it has even gone so much to a trial. I've never stood trial even because there's no proof I did anything. But they can sue you, and they do sue you. Now, your guess is as good as mine as to why. I mean, I personally believe they are trying to bankrupt you, make you suffer, silence you. If they can get a gag order out of it, oh my God, even better. Just trying to abuse because they feel that you exercising your First Amendment right to say some things they don't like entitles them to do that. So to the extent that like, oh, Milagro's different than this or that, I mean, from what I've seen, I have not seen her say anything defamatory. From what I've seen, I read through her deposition, a lot of the deposition, and I read through transcripts of other things, videos, and she always couches her statements. I've said it before, I'll say it again. She's very educated, she's very articulate, and she's very also intelligent. And educated and intelligent are not the same thing, but she's got both, all 3. And she can effectively express it. So from what I've read, it's always, and again, I wasn't there. All I'm doing is reading stuff. So there could be stuff I just didn't read. I haven't definitely not read everything. But when I was in that interview for the Hippies documentary that I did, the one interview I did for free, and they gave me no consideration at all whatsoever and all that for the unenforceable, invalid contract they try to make me sign. I remember the interviewer asking me, how would you describe your fans or what are they like or something like that? And I actually remember like not exactly knowing how to answer that question because it's like, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I mean, I guess I could go in and look at the demographics, but they don't really even tell you all that. I didn't really know how to answer the question. I said, I guess, I would consider them to be curious, intellectually curious, like open-minded type of people who aren't necessarily going to like make up their mind and then have a hard time to change their mind. I mean, I guess that maybe would be the one thing that I would find like kind of like, I don't know. What do you mean? How do I describe my fans? I mean, I've never had a meet and greet. I don't know. What do you mean? Like, there are people that click on my video and click, and say stuff. I don't know. I remember not really knowing how to answer the question. But then in the documentary, I saw the larger picture of what they were trying to do. And what they were trying to do, in my opinion, and y'all, the ones that watched, put a 1 in the chat if you agree, put a 2 in the chat if you don't. The ones that watched, what it appeared to me that they were trying to do was to paint a narrative, was to make it seem like I am a dangerous individual. And these 2 carnival clowns that they had, these freaks, these losers that they had talking like they were my fans, I'd never spoken to those people. And one of those freaks actually filed court papers under penalty of perjury, declarations against me, saying that I had told her, this lunatic, that I had told her to dox somebody. I'm going to pull that up, actually. I want to show y'all. And again, like I said, we're going to be here for a while today. Because like I said, I'm having to turn documents in today. It's on my mind a little bit. We might even can make it a fundraiser. My links are below if you want to donate. I'm actually looking for this freaking lunatics filing. And I will say it feels like to me the most probable outcome for this type of treatment against a person is to make them go crazy. It's to make them either look crazy so they can put them in a take our freedoms, take our liberties, like Adam Grant Mason said, "Women like that should be locked the fuck up because they're sick in the fucking head," or whatever. I think that's what they're trying to do. I really do, to make us seem not credible, to make us lose our platforms, to take away our God-given inalienable rights. Now, am I going to get out here saying that Meg the Stallion looks like she has a potato under her wig? No. But Milagro Grams Cooper has the God-given protected right to say it. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Get off her channel. I don't know. I'm looking for this declaration. Yeah. This is crazy. It's crazy. And thankfully, I mean, I didn't fall for this okey doke. This was electronically filed in January 2024. Let me pull this up. Because this is proof. This is evidence of what I'm saying. It don't take my word for it. Declaration of Jamie Gilmore. I'm not a party to the above referenced matter. Now, mind you, at the time she submitted this declaration, I had never in my life spoken to her. And to this day, I've never spoken to her. She has reached out to me personally. She has reached out to me personally on my email, and I didn't respond. She reached out to my lawyers on email. I don't know if they responded or not. They did their lawyer thing. I don't tell them what to do. But this person is mentally, in my opinion, unwell, because almost everything that you're about to hear on the substantive facts that are stated is false. Okay. And this is a court submitted under penalty of perjury. Okay. I'd never spoken to this bitch in my freaking life. And you know who had spoken to her? By appearances, as far as what I could see during one of her live streams one day, Lima Yevrimovich, my op, the girl suing me, right? They were trying to get a restraining order. And now, right now, Lima Yevrimovich owes me money, or my lawyer's money, in sanctions and in slap fees, lawyer fees, because this was considered to be an unlawful lawsuit against my free speech. But this was one of the things that they tried to silence me. They tried to stop me from being able to talk about them by enlisting the likes of this complete and total stranger to me. A complete stranger. I'm not a party to this case. I'm not represented by a lawyer. Everything I'm going to say is true, except stuff that is just my information or belief. I'm a former supporter and follower. Okay, so any freaking crazy person who clicks follow on your video, think about the ramifications of this. Any lunatic, circus clown, compra chico, buffoon oaf can just say, oh, I clicked follow and I gave some donations. What in the hell does that have to do with me? I'm a former supporter and follower. We never spoke. We didn't have sleepovers. She don't have my number. I don't have hers. Don't want it. I submit this declaration to inform the court of my association with Miss Corville. We'd never spoken in my life. Under penalty of perjury, she's declaring that she's associated with me. What? They put this freak on the Hit Piece documentary, and she did an interview on there too. I never talked to her. But she's telling a court we're associated. And you can imagine from a court, like a judge's perspective, like, oh, you would assume somebody wasn't just going to be lying. That's what happened. The disconcerting activities linked to That Surprise Army, a collection of online followers who regularly follow respondents. So a gang that is stalking me, a gang stalking me, I'm being held responsible for their deranged actions, even the ones that I told them not to do. I have been one of the followers since July 2002. What year is that, girl? What year is that? Naively believing her portrayal of herself as an attorney and an investigative journalist exposing corruption. I'm not an attorney. I'm a lawyer. Crimes allegedly committed by petitioner. I never said she committed crimes, particularly in connection to the serious accusation of trafficking involving petitioner's sister, Dahlia Takali. I became a victim of me. She's saying she became a victim of my fraudulent schemes. The fraudulent scheme was the legal fund, and the legal fund money has all gone to my lawyers. She illegally, in my opinion, against the law, in my opinion, donated her disability checks. And I tell people, do not donate me your last $5 and do not donate me your money. If you're on disability, please. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And I've always said that. She said I was fully aware she was on disability. And I used our shared experiences of being on disability myself. I've never been on disability. These are just lies. I've never been on disability. I definitely was on food stamps. That's not disability. That's different. I've never been on disability. And there's no shame at all in being on it. That's what it's for. You pay taxes, you become disabled, then you should be able to get the money out. But I just simply just haven't. So you can see how these lies, these just demonstrably false, like this is demonstrable. You have to take my word for it. There's no record anywhere showing I've ever been on disability. We've never bonded. This is just lies. She went so far. I believe this was a pursuit of justice. I thought petitioner, meaning Lima, was a scam artist, a murderer involved in S trafficking. Well, girl, that was your decision to believe that. I didn't tell her to believe that. She said, I went so far as to leave aggressive comments on Lima's public social media page that she uses for work. It's nice to get that little piece of evidence in there, right? For work, accusing her of these things. So this lunatic is admitting to harassment, in my opinion, admitting to it. I left those aggressive comments on Lima's page. I left those comments. I did it. Did Lima try to get a restraining order from this freak? Nope. Nope. So I just wanted to show y'all that because that's real. That was really filed in court for real, to try to silence me, to try to take away my God-given inalienable rights. And it was in conjunction with a legal proceeding, a lawsuit. Not only these several restraining orders they tried and failed to get because I didn't do anything wrong. If anything, I should be able to get restraining orders against this posse of freaks. But then that lunatic went so far as to go and be on the Hit Piece documentary and say more lies of the same sort, that I was somehow involved with all of them. Now, all the while, remember, there was a scheme going on in the back end. All these different people trying to use the proximity of the few people that I still had left that I trusted, past tense, and they would get to like, a mod. And then the mod would send me their message. Oh, just so you know, so-and-so is trying to scam. And it had nothing to do with me. It was all setups. They would send me deep fake, in my opinion, I believe it was deep fake, pornographic videos of Lima, in my opinion, trying to bait me in exactly the same, in my opinion. Okay, what do I know? But then that Jamie Gilmore girl that I just told y'all about, and then we're going to get to the Milagro stuff. She then not only did that under penalty of perjury bullshit in court, not only lied on an HBO, this isn't a YouTube video, an HBO documentary, made it seem like I was telling her to do stuff. She would also renege her allegations. She showed up to one of the court hearings trying to take back that declaration, saying she was told she didn't get to read it before she signed it, all this other stuff. Okay. So she did try to yank back those allegations, but not before attempting to steal my God-given rights. So when all of that was going on, this has been, almost 2 years ago now since that declaration was filed, but still to this day, I am still fighting the underlying case. I've really learned indisputably, people lie. People try to pretend like they're your friend, and the whole time they're setting you up. People are really your friend, and they get flipped. People are really your friend, and then they get flipped. So you really just can't trust nobody. Okay, that's just the ultimate. That's it. Sometimes you can fully trust someone, but they don't have the discernment. They might be susceptible to love bombing. They might not have whoever said is the live title wrong. No, you need to go get your eyes checked. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. Goodbye. Shout out to the cousins in the chat. Shout out to Gangland. Neem. Shout out to Two Frames Media. This is context because I wanted y'all to see with your eyes, and I know some of y'all have already seen it with your eyes, the lengths that people will go. All right. Now, this was just some little virtual reality company that was trying to do Bam Margera's conservatorship or whatever the case may be. Think about how many more higher, farther lengths Rock Freaking Nation has at their disposal. Or a Rock Nation artist, Desiree Perez, Jay-Z. These are things that really happened. These things really happened. And so I can point to them. There's no, oh, I wonder if. No, it really happened. Now, again, to be very clear, I'm not blaming Jay-Z or anybody specifically for that. Those people might have just been deranged idiots. But the fact remains that there was lied about in a court document related to me in an attempt to steal my rights, in an attempt to silence me, in an attempt to, I believe, bankrupt me, abuse me, harm me. That's my opinion. So there's going to be a few things that are going to come up today. There's a reason I spent so much time on that up front. There's going to be a few things that come up today where I'm going to go. And remember when I told you da-da-da-da-da-da? Because if you're just a random passerby, you're not maybe a content creator, maybe you are, but you haven't been the victim of the full brunt of this before. I'm here to tell you, you can't believe everything a freaking moderator gets on a stand and says. Do you know that I had moderators back in the day, they're not my moderators anymore, who actually offered to testify against me while they were my moderators? Who were texting with me and sending my text messages to other YouTubers, my moderators, who were trying to get other YouTubers, these drama channels, to make videos about me. That happened. That happened. They're not my moderators no more, and they've been out of here for a long time. But recently I found out some other shenanigans that another moderator or two has been up to. And I have a documentary in the works. Yes, I do. Gangland, yep. They reached out to Bam Margera. One of them reached out to Bam Margera's family and said, if y'all want to sue her, I'm her moderator. And I will testify against her. Well, womp womp. You know, testify shit. Because I don't do nothing that I don't do anything wrong. I don't do anything wrong. I don't do anything wrong. I have like a huge angel on the one shoulder and like a little tiny devil on the one shoulder. Okay. It's like, I might say your breath stinks or something. You got a recording of me saying somebody's breath stinks. Put it out. Cause it was probably stinking breath. Okay. Put it out, bitch. Put it out. I don't record calls. Usually. I ain't that type. I don't have to. When I lay my head down on the bed at night, I go right to sleep. But you know, it is pretty hard out here to have people coming up and saying, oh, I want to help. I want to volunteer this. I want to help do that. I want to da-da-da. I'm going to get this FOIA request for you. I'm going to go to this place and do research for you. All the while they're scheming. All the while they're scheming. Okay. So if there was anything Bam Margera's family could have sued me for, they would have done it. If there was anything that those crusty lip ass mods with the crust in the corners of their mouth had worth making a freaking video on, I know that the ops would have made them videos. My reputation's unimpeachable, but I've still been sued. I've been lied about in court. And so, because that happened to me, I am certain it can happen to anyone. And I don't like that. If you can't win with the truth, then stay your ass on your couch, bitch. Anyway, the breath probably stunk. So, that being said, where we left off yesterday or the day before, whatever the last video I made on this was, I think we had just finished the day 2, which was Tuesday. Today's Thursday, so it was the day before yesterday. So I want to finish all the way through yesterday's, like on day 3. And then we're going to start talking about what's going on in there today as well. Because I'm noticing some patterns. And I think after that, 40 minutes that y'all just sat through, you might notice some too. Maybe. Again, I don't know. It's opinion. So we'll start here with Megan Cuniff. Everybody, I know that's y'all's fave. She said, good morning from Miami, where it is day 3 of the trial in Megan Thee Stallion's defamation lawsuit against online commentator Milagro Grams. Jurors right now are seeing excerpts from the deposition of DJ Academics. So yesterday, they started the day with the DJ Academics deposition. She said, one thing I should have mentioned in my article yesterday is Megan's lawyer, John O'Sullivan, had Milagro read aloud the jury verdict from convicting Tory Lanez of all three counts. Megan said, I definitely thought of the internet when that happened. Jurors saw some of Caesar McDowell's deposition after DJ Academics. McDowell is the founder of Unite the People, which initially represented Milagro. Jurors heard a prison call Tory Lanez made to Caesar McDowell, in which they discuss representing Milagro. Okay, so I think what Megan, the Stallion's attorneys, are trying to argue is that Unite the People offered to take Milagro's case on pro bono because Tory Lanez makes donations to Unite the People. Unite the People is run by a formerly incarcerated individual named Caesar McDowell. I believe he's incarcerated for 26 years, and now he runs this, what's it called? Criminal justice. Now he runs this criminal justice nonprofit called Unite the People. So apparently, allegedly, Tory Lanez has donated money to them, and Unite the People was kind of like representing Tory Lanez as well in his criminal trial. So there's a little bit of a confusing overlap because we have Tory Lanez, who had his own criminal trial and still has that ongoing. It's going through the courts and everything right now. He did get convicted, found guilty on Pew Pew, Meg the Stallion. He appealed it. The appeals court in California did affirm that ruling. So he's still just appealing up the way. And in the meantime, I think he's gotten rid of Unite the People. I don't think he works with them anymore. And in the meantime as well, I don't think Milagro works with them anymore either. But they had offered, this is my understanding of the situation, they had offered in the beginning to represent her. And come to find out, it wasn't even lawyers. Like basically they were having to find lawyers to do it. I don't know. It was very confusing. It was a little bit, I don't know. I would say unprofessional in my opinion, but I really don't know. I wasn't involved in things. I'm just kind of like, reading what's public. So he was deposed. He was deposed as well as DJ Academics, as well as Aiden Ross. McDowell is the founder of Unite the People. They initially represented Milagro, which I guess they kind of did. But again, I don't think that anybody there is actually a lawyer. I don't know. It's kind of a fiasco with the Unite the People. Jurors heard a prison call that Tory Lanez made to Caesar McDowell. And in the call, they discuss Unite the People representing Milagro. Megan said, I'm proud to say I am mentioned on the call when Tory says, quote, okay, so Megan is excited to be to mention. She was mentioned in the jail call. The Megan Cuniff lady talking about how we don't know what we're doing. Megan's lawyer asked Caesar in the Megan's lawyer asked Caesar in the deposition, who is Megan Cuniff? And he answered, I don't remember. He apparently answered, I don't remember to like everything. Megan's lawyer, Megan the Stallion's lawyer, there's so many Megans. Megan the Stallion's lawyer asked if Megan Cuniff was a journalist, writing about Lanez's convictions for Pew Pew Megan, and then Caesar apparently in his deposition. Now they're playing this deposition for the jury. They're playing it out loud. So Caesar McDowell is, I don't know who that is. On the call. Yeah. Saw some of his deposition. Yeah. I was just making sure that I didn't misspeak and he wasn't actually at the trial. It doesn't appear that he was actually at the trial. They were just replaying his deposition, and they did the same thing with the Kelsey Harris, deposition, or I guess criminal trials don't have depositions, but it was like an interview with the prosecutors she did. They played some of that in. They played some of DJ Academics' deposition into the trial before the jury in this case, and also Caesar McDowell. They asked, in the deposition footage that was played, or audio that was played for the jury, this was yesterday. Caesar was asked, Megan Cuniff is a journalist? And he said, I don't remember. Then yesterday, she said they were finally on the lunch break after testimony from Megan's friend and manager. Okay, so this is why I'm seeing stars today, really. In addition to the parallels to my case, the other thing that I spent so much time looking into was the alleged suspected purported guardianship, the alleged suspected purported possibly non-existent guardianship of Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, there's a whole side plot. Don't make me start free Megan because I will. Don't make me. This other guy testified yesterday. His name's Travis Ferris, and another name he goes by is T Ferris, I guess. Travis Ferris Money. He talked about how social media vitriol hurts Megan Thee Stallion. So this is like her bestie, okay? Her bestie used to be her assistant, used to be her, excuse me, not assistant, used to be her manager. Then she ends up going with Rock Nation for getting managed with them. So then he's not her manager anymore. So now he's like her personal life assistant manager or something. But he lives in the house with her. And we ended up finding out yesterday, not only does he live in the house with her, it's his house. His name's on the deed. And I was in the records today. I was in the public records. He's got a mortgage. He's got the deed. I got the address. I'm not sharing it with y'all because that's not the point. The point is it's public records that do indicate he is a trustee of one of Megan's trusts. We'll get to that. Let me not get ahead of myself. Put a 333 in the chat if you're looking forward to finding out about that side plot. Friend and manager Travis Ferris, who talked about how social media vitriol hurts Megan. He testified he got her into a treatment center that cost about $250,000 a month. Remember whenever we had sticker shock at 30,000, 40, 50, 60,000 a month? Now they 250,000, 240,000. Now, this tweet in and of itself is worth at least a master's thesis, maybe even possibly a dissertation, because hold on. He got her into a treatment center. Well, this means something completely different to me when you put into the situation the fact this going on in Florida. What goes on in Florida? The Florida Shuffle. The Baker Acts. The Marchman Act. What the hell was that? It does sound like a rehab. Baker Act. Florida Shuffle. Oh my gosh, something's going wrong. Something's going wrong with my camera here. Okay. When I put it on the main screen, it goes away. Okay. I'm getting too close. I'm over the target. I'm over the target, everybody. I'm getting too close to the answer. My stuff's, look, I'm not even doing that. Put a 6 in the chat if you can still hear me, because I have the camera up. I have everything up and it's just got me down. They're trying to silence me out here. They're trying to silence me. Could just be a glitch. Okay, so at least y'all could hear me. So whenever the camera goes down, at least y'all can still hear. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Somebody said it's Rock Nation. No. So this tweet right here, it takes on a lot of new meaning whenever you put into the equation some other context, right? That this is happening in Florida. Bam Margera, Florida Shuffle. The Maury Hadley, Florida Shuffle. He got her into treatment. Is he a guardian? Now, I do want to bring up some things that were said by some other content creators. I'm going to do that to try to piece together, what is this? Is he a guardian? Now, apparently yesterday on the stand, he said he is not a legal guardian over her. However, I came across some information publicly filed that Megan Thee Stallion has signed over her power of attorney. That's not a guardianship. It's different. But she signed over the power of attorney for her trademarks to Wooten Law Firm lawyers. Now there's allegations coming from her friend Chelsea to Milagro Cooper that she is has a guardian. It's like she can't be sleeping with Travis Ferris because that's her guardian. Now, this is all hearsay, triple hearsay down the line. But you got the same guy that I saw with my own eyes. His name is on I'll show y'all this. I can show y'all this. I don't wanna show the address, for many reasons, and that's really not the point, but I'll at least show y'all the signature line so that you can see that there is something here. Here's the signature line. Travis Ferris. Oh, I guess it's on there anyway. Travis Ferris, trustee. Sounding like Meg has a handler. Y'all see they keep taking my camera down, huh? Y'all see it? Okay, that one works. Somebody said, didn't she buy a house with her PR? I mean, her boyfriend. That's what they posted a little picture like this, but I don't know who bought that house. I don't know whose name it is. I don't know whose name it's in. Okay, so let me bring back up that infamous tweet. I mean, like I said, I have so many things to say. So the guy alleged to be a guardian, but then he says is not a guardian. He says he's not a legal guardian, but he is a trustee signing as a trustee on Megan's trust, from what I could tell on the public records. And I will redact them further and I will do a more in-depth video. He was on the stand yesterday, this guy. And Armand Wiggins said last night that basically what it looked like was the whole reason he was really up there and ended up being was just to disprove that he was the guardian or anybody's guardian. Because the day before yesterday, it had been brought up that Milagro got an anonymous, but not so anonymous tip from Megan Thee Stallion's friend, Chelsea. Whenever Milagro was covering the case, Megan Thee Stallion's friend, Chelsea, hits up Milagro Cooper's tip line and gives her a tip. And the tip is Travis Ferris is Megan's guardian. Okay, interesting. Well, he has disputed that, and I don't know what's true. I don't know if he is or isn't. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. But he's also the one that's the trustee, from what I saw with my own eyes, on some property records, publicly available. I didn't even have to buy them. They're just up there on the website, Miami-Dade, whatever. And on top of that, he testified yesterday that he got her into treatment. Oh, beep, 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 beep. Was it involuntary? This is Florida? Whose treatment center? Why did it cost $240,000? I thought it was the going rate was about $70,000. $240,000? And why was she needing to go to this treatment center? Well, apparently it was because she was so traumatized, specifically by Milagro Grams Cooper's social media posts. Not Aiden Ross, who has 6.5 million followers and was saying that Megan Thee Stallion was a liar. No, it was little 40,000 follower Milagro Grams Cooper. Was it DJ Academics with his millions of followers across platforms? No, ma'am. It was Milagro that caused her to have to go to a $240,000 a month. A lot of these treatment centers want to keep you for 3 months. Now, apparently, she only went for 1 month. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's starting to remind me of other cases. Britney Spears. I wouldn't be surprised to find out David's in a rehab right now or a treatment center. I'm not saying Meg Thee Stallion was in a rehab. Okay. But to me, treatment center, rehab, outpatient, like, one of the things they so mad about is somebody, accusing her of having a drinking problem. Even the psychiatrist or the forensic psychologist or whatever yesterday was like, no. She don't have a drinking problem. No. So she was just in what was she doing? Where was she for $240,000 for a month then? She couldn't have stayed at her house. She couldn't have gone on vacation then? It wasn't rehab? What was the treatment for? Anyway, Megan Cunif's coverage moves right along after that tweet. But I have a lot more to say or questions to ask. But we'll move on for the purposes of the video. Daniel Kinney of Rock Nation testified about brand opportunities for Megan that fell apart. Now, wait, hold on. I got to go back to this guy real quick. T. Ferris, Travis Ferris. Something else that he apparently testified yesterday was that it was Milagro, specifically Milagro Grams Cooper's tweets and videos and statements that were causing this traumatic stress upon Megan Thee Stallion. And maybe they were. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Maybe they were. But not Aiden Ross, not Joe Budden, not DJ Academics, these huge, like, almost household name hip hop commentators. I mean, certainly household name if you're talking about hip hop. People that comment on hip hop, everybody knows who that is. And wait, there was another thing I wanted to say. Hold on. Testified, got her into a treatment center. Oh, you might be wondering, well, was Megan Thee Stallion just obsessed with Milagro? Like, was she, like, how was she seeing all this? Because, like, I'll tell y'all from my perspective, I have nowhere near a fraction of the fame that Megan Thee Stallion has. But I can tell you, when there's like a hater account, I just block it. And if like people keep in my inner circle, keep trying, meaning the people who have access to me through my personal cellular device and my personal FaceTime life, like in real life, if they don't stop bringing that up to me, I block them too. I tell the people in my life, I don't want to see that. That has nothing to do with me. Let them say what they need to say there. If my life is in danger, if something needs to be said about it like that, yeah, sure. There's like a select small group of people who I will, accept that type of information from. But like just in general, like anybody that cares about me isn't telling me unless I specifically ask about a random 40,000 follower hater. I don't even give a shit about somebody hating on me with 40,000 followers. I don't care. So why would Megan Thee Stallion need to be kept abreast to this to the extent that it was giving her PTSD? It made her lose money. She had to go to a treatment center for $240,000 a month. Seemed like it would have been cheaper to just click block and nobody tell her. You mean to tell me we couldn't get a SOS message through to Britney Spears for 6 years, but Megan Thee Stallion somehow is able to be penetrated, her piece can be penetrated by Milagro Grams Cooper, who at the time had even fewer followers. And I'm not meaning to diminish Milagro in any way. What I mean is that kind of comes with the territory of being a super, super, super famous, singing at the presidential campaign rallies. It comes with the territory. Just like the 6 million follower Aiden Ross could say something if he wanted to say it. What in the hell is that just Milagro's the one person you take an issue with? Now, look, listen. I have not heard every word Milagro said. Actually, I've not watched almost any of her videos. I probably watched a collective total of 20 minutes of Milagro content in my life. Okay. I haven't watched it. And one of the reasons is I want to just go by what's in the documents. I'm already biased toward her because of what I've been through. So I'm already biased in favor of her. So I'm trying to keep a fair, open mind, whatever you want to call it. Shout out to the cousins in the chat from Stino's channel. So how did Megan Thee Stallion, was she just obsessed with Milagro? She was logging in every day to see what Milagro was saying. Well, according to testimony on the stand yesterday, the way that she would find this out was from her manager, roommate, landlord, Travis Ferris. He would show it to her. And he testified he would show her the Milagro posts, and then she would be sad. She would be upset. Her mood would change. One time, according to Armand Wiggins, they were out on a yacht. And all the way in the middle of the water, not even on land, Megan Thee Stallion could not escape Milagro Grams. But it wasn't Milagro Grams sending it to her, sending it to her cell phone. No, it was Travis Ferris. So if I'm in the jury, I don't know. I mean, I told y'all I'm biased, but if I'm sitting in the jury, I'm thinking, hold up. Yeah, Milagro's saying these videos or whatever, but why is her best friend or whatever pestering the shit out of her with the posts? That's a bad friend. She can't escape this man. She lives in the house he owns, apparently, allegedly. I truly don't know where she lives, but according to reports from yesterday coming out of the court, they live together in a house. It's his house. His name's on the deed. Megan the Stallion's name's not on the deed. That's what I understand to be the living situation based on the publicly expressed documents that I just disclosed to you. Please do, if you want to know for certain, do your own real estate title searches and stuff. But from what I understand, well, what's being reported in there, this is the guy who might be or isn't, perhaps is or isn't, maybe who knows, a guardian, wasn't, who knows. The guy who, quote, got her into treatment that cost $250,000 for 1 month. It almost starts to look like maybe they just needed to move $240,000 somewhere from somewhere. Then I also found evidence that she signed the power of attorney for trademarks over. Maybe that's normal in the industry, but should it be? Because at some point, when does it become just management and versus ownership? I'm just wondering, especially when you want to look at the history of this country. Who was owned, who was allowed to own their name, who was allowed to own their own rights. I don't know. I mean, it's just things to think about. Then you put on top of it the Florida Shuffle. It's real easy to put somebody right into a Baker or a Marchman Act. Now, TMZ also wrote published an article about this situation. Bring that up now. Meg the Stallion's ex-manager says deep fake corn caused her to seek $240,000 in therapy. Ex-manager, that's what they're characterizing him as here. Megan the Stallion spent $240,000 for emotional therapy after blogger spread deepfake corn. Now, before we even get past the title, I want to know, did the person who made the deepfake corn get sued? I don't think they have. How about the website that hosted the deepfake corn? Did they get added as co-defendants to this lawsuit? Looks like no. So, I mean, I'm starting to stop asking. I'm starting to not wonder, why didn't Megan sue blah 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 blah, because I'm not sure Megan chooses to do very much. I mean, she's doesn't own the house she lives in. It's her friend owns it. I think both of her parents are no longer with us. Rest in peace to them. Maybe she has a guardian, but maybe not. Not that I would ever get any clarification on it, because all that stuff's sealed. $250,000 in therapy, $240,000. All because of this deep fake corn. She got all this money, and they not suing the people that made it. They not trying to find out who made it. They not trying to sue the website. Get that taken down off the website. Did they send a cease and desist to the website? I've never seen the video, and I'm not encouraging anyone to try to look it up. I'm actually right now, I would like to discourage people from trying to look it up. I don't know if it's still available on the internet or not. If it is, please don't disclose such in my comments or my live chat. Please respect my personal rules for my channel. I don't want to see no deep fake. I don't want to see no real fake. I don't want to see none of that at all whatsoever. It was played in open court on the first day. But if all of this money is having to be spent and she's losing brand deals, she's losing collaborations, she had to pull out from being in the Call of Duty game because it was traumatizing. It's all because of Milagro and this deepfake corn. Milagro's getting sued over it anyway. You didn't want to enjoin the people that made it. She's not suing Milagro for making it. She's suing Milagro for promoting it. Well, why don't you sue the website that's got it on the website? It's very confusing to me. I don't get it. I have questions. Megan Thee Stallion's former manager took the stand yesterday in her defamation trial against blogger. They call her blogger, but I think she's more of a vlogger, if anything. Milagro Grams on Wednesday telling the jury that Megan Thee Stallion's recovery was pricey. Recovery how? They're acting like it wasn't for substances, which is recovering from her friend pestering the shit out of her with a blogger. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, put a 5 in the chat if you agree. Would she have even known this stuff at all if her friend and landlord wasn't pestering the shit out of her with it? I don't think so. And this is one of the things that I got onto that recent mod about. I had set a boundary up that I didn't want to talk to a certain person. A certain person, in my opinion, was involved in trying to set me up with all that drama, all that shit I just told y'all about. Excuse my language. All that crap I just told y'all about. That person wasn't involved. The mod kept in contact with that person. Fine. You're allowed to do that. You can have friends, First Amendment, freedom of association. You could even still have that friend and be my mod. That's fine. That's not a problem. But then that person I didn't want to talk to and had set a boundary that I didn't want to talk to was reaching out to my mod. And my mod would then forward the messages over to me like, excuse me, you're violating me. You're taking advantage, in my opinion, of your proximity to me and my trust. I told you I don't want to see this and I don't want to get dragged into this bull crap. These people have already, this same group of people has already tried to set me up 2-3 different times. And now you're forwarding me stuff after I've said I don't want to be bothered with this person. So now I'm kind of feeling like the Meg the Stallion in this situation, feeling a little sympathetic toward her. Imagine you're on a yacht. Who knows? God knows what the poor girl was forced to do, made to do on the yacht. Maybe not made to do. Maybe she was loving every second of it. But I have reason to believe she was still working and needed to get some stuff done. And her best friend is look what Milagro said. Leave me alone, you pestering freak. What the hell, you gnat. Ew. Stop. Anyway, do I have fives in the chat? Yeah, a lot of fives. There's a lot of fives. Leroy Brown said, Meg is jealous because a woman like Millie, that's Milagro, will be allowed to speak and see Tori once he's free. She won't have that luxury, unfortunately. I'm starting to wonder, do we need a hashtag free Meg? Yeah, I mean, I can understand Becky, not having sympathy for her. There's a lot of people who I don't have no sympathy for. They might get, Diddy gets put in a conservatorship. I will not be doing the free Diddy movement. Okay. Y'all can do it. I'm not going to stop you. But Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs just going to have to be on his own on that one. Jay-Z, Sean Jay-Z Carter, I'm not going to be doing the free Jay-Z movement. I'm just not. There's certain people that I just don't care. Sorry, you ruined it. Lou Taylor, good riddance. Does that make me a hypocrite? Maybe. Perhaps. But I don't have to do nothing I don't feel like doing. And if I'm going to tell you flat out, I'm biased. I don't give a crap if Diddy or Jay-Z gets put in a conservatorship. I don't care. I don't care. So, I mean, I hear you. I hear you. The fives were if y'all agreed with that's what it looks like to you. Like, it looks to me like all this rehab or whatever, recovery, whatever they're calling it, this treatment and all this $240,000 for 1 month and all this losing all the sponsorships and stuff. If it's all because of Milagro, it's kind of also because of Travis. Because from what it sounded like, Megan Thee Stallion, and I don't know, I wasn't in the courtroom. I'm hoping that I can get the transcripts eventually and read through and see what it actually says. But from what has been said and what has come out of this courtroom, from the people that were in there and stuff and what's been reported, it seems like Travis T. Ferris is the one that kept sharing all this stuff with Meg. Like, he was doing it just as much as Milagro. It would be one thing if Milagro was sending this stuff to Meg Thee Stallion's phone. If she was finding Meg Thee Stallion's email address or her number or tagging her in every single post, maybe she was. I don't have any reason to believe that's what she was doing. What I have reason to believe was going on was Travis Ferris, the handler / guardian / not handler / not guardian, whatever he is, admitted on the stand to being the one to show her stuff. He's the one that said he showed her the deep fake corn video before she went on stage. Right before she went on stage. It's true. Kenley said all this codependency stuff doesn't match her IDGAF hot girl boss label. It's interesting. It sure don't. It sure don't. His timing is one of someone who doesn't have her best interests. It's interesting opinions coming across. People are saying I have no sympathy for her. I hear y'all. It don't match the image. EC said free Beyonce too while we at it. Jay-Z has her in a conservatorship, but it's just disguised as a marriage, in my opinion. Listen, I have no reason to believe that's true. I have no reason to believe it's false. I don't know. I don't know them people. Let's go on and read the rest of this TMZ article. Travis Ferris testified that Megan spent $240,000 attending a 4-week therapy session. That sounds like the Bridges to Recovery ordeal, where Brittany said she was stuck in a chair and had to work and give gallons of blood. With the emotional distress she says she felt after Milagro made some posts online. Sound like she don't need to be a celebrity. I mean, look, truly my heart can go out to her. And I can also say, like I can even identify with some of the things she's going through. And like I could see that the people around her ain't shit and all that. But at the end of the day, you can't be famous if you can't handle a few posts. It's part of it. One of them included a deep fake corn video. Now I don't feel the same about a few posts. Okay. Deep fake corn, that's different. I don't think you should be able to share deep fake corn of anybody. I don't like that. I don't think you should be able to. I see why it's a law, and I would certainly follow that law. Many people online thought the video was real. Ferris, this assistant trustee guy, detailed in court about how Megan came to him in tears and even apologized to him for having to see the deepfake corn video, sparking her decision to undergo therapy. So the corn video itself, how would she have seen it if if Travis Ferris didn't show it to her? Now, look, some people might say, well, you a bad friend if you don't show that to your friend. Okay, fine, fair. In that opinion. Ferris recalled that he rushed to Megan Thee Stallion's side at the hospital after he received a text about the July 2020 shooting for which Tory Lanez was eventually found guilty, leading to their current path in life. Megan's attorneys officially went on record and said she had been diagnosed with PTSD. They informed the court that the doctor who diagnosed her was a woman by the name of Dr. Lenore Walker. Okay, she did testify yesterday as well. Now, this Dr. Lenore Walker ain't no middle of the shopping plaza doctor. Okay, this is the woman who invented, coined, and popularized battered woman's syndrome. Maybe she didn't invent it, but she definitely popularized it. I think she invented it. T. Ferris also firmly denied Milagro's claims that he and Megan had been in a romantic relationship. So I guess Milagro had previously speculated that Travis Ferris was like Megan's lover, Megan Thee Stallion's lover. Megan Thee Stallion was not my lover, said T. Ferris on the stand yesterday. He said that the two had a close-knit work bond. He likened it to a big brother and a little sister dynamic. Where was he the night of 2020 whenever the pew pew happened? Okay, when did that, where were you? Now, I find this to be extremely interesting, okay? And I'm not going to go full Illuminati parental sacrifice on them, all right? I'm not going to go full Illuminati parental sacrifice, but I do just want to point out an interesting timeline point. 2019, according to TMZ, is when Megan Thee Stallion's mother tragically passed away. Rest in peace to her. I will never, ever make fun or make light of losing a parent, and y'all know why. But I don't know what the mom died from, and truly, rest in peace to her. But at the very least, it is a massive coincidence and a tragic one at that. that Megan Thee Stallion was really starting to become the most famous she would really be, probably in about 2020, I think. The year before that, her mother tragically, I guess, passed. And again, I don't know why or how, but 2019 is also the same exact year Dina LaPolte Dina LaPolte filed for the Hot Girl Trademark Management LLC, Hot Girl this, that, Megan Thee Stallion trademarks. This is like the same year her mom died. So when her mom died, that's when this guy, Travis T. Ferris, steps in, taking over managerial duties. So am I reading this correctly? Somebody who has more knowledge about the situation than me. I just got here. Okay. I just got here. I barely even go here and I acknowledge it. But, am I reading this correctly that the mom was Megan Thee Stallion's mother was her manager, and then she died, and then taking over the manager duties was T. Ferris, who now is trustee of Megan's trust, or at least one of them. Of the house she lives in, he's got his name on the deed from what I'm able to tell. He's being referred to by Megan's friends as a guardian. Other people have referred to him as a handler. Donat referred to him as a handler. I don't know if that was, on purpose or not, but y'all can go and watch his coverage. Also, side note, all the people who I've mentioned who are covering the case, other than Megan Cuniff, I linked their stuff in the description box down below. Pam Esquire, shout out to her. Armand Wiggins, shout out to him. And Donut, fan page, shout out to him. And I understand and recognize that those individuals might have their own interpersonal disagreements, etc. I have no interpersonal disagreements with any of those people, so I'm not going to be like taking sides in beef at this point. Now, just as soon as somebody gives me a reason not to like them and say something, I'll let them know. But as of right now, I understand they have their own, disagreements and beefs. But for me, the most important thing isn't about a disagreement, a drama, or a beef. It's about getting to what's really going on here. And whether or not y'all care or have sympathy for Megan Thee Stallion is a little irrelevant to the truth of the matter of, is Rock Nation or anyone using guardianships, trusteeships, powers of attorneyships, et cetera, to control and move celebrities around like chess pieces and or AKA slaves? And maybe you don't care if it's going on with Megan Thee Stallion, but can we draw that up and look at the higher puppet master strings being pulled? Again, I'm not saying Megan Thee Stallion is in a guardianship, and indeed, and in fact, T. Ferris has denied it. Okay. But I'm the guardianship conservatorship whisperer, and those are the same thing. Guardianships and conservatorships are the same thing. So I'm the guardianship conservatorship whisperer. If anybody's going to be talking about it, it's going to be me. Okay. So now he's like a big brother. They have a tight-knit, close-knit work bond, and he likened it to a big brother, big little sister dynamic that developed after the mom died. Because why? Because he took over managerial duties. They're saying he was always around, though, but they saying in TMZ they became closer after the mom died. Or maybe that's just a narrative push. I mean, that's always possible. Okay, so now this isn't even... Okay. Megan Thee Stallion claims Milagro was fed negative information from Tory Lanez. So that's part of the lawsuit, is that it's Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez the one telling Milagro to say this stuff. And Tory Lanez, Megan has a restraining order against him. Megan's legal team has floated the possibility that Milagro and Tory's dad, Sunstar Peterson, were in a romantic relationship. Megan's legal team is trying to say that Tory Lanez's dad is hooking up with Milagro. Please, she is a married woman with children or a child and has been with her man for 13 years. That is disgusting. But I don't put anything below. I don't put anything below or beneath Megan Thee Stallion's legal team. And that's another reason why I'm biased. Because I don't think that Quinn Emanuel's lawyers operate in good faith at trial. I think they operate in whatever it takes to win. I think they will, some of them will lie, cheat, steal, defraud. I believe some of them will do that. Some of them, I believe, will do that. And so that's my opinion, that's my belief. And so the reason I believe that is because how decrepit they act in court and how degenerated they act. They don't operate in good faith. So I don't really trust that they're doing the right thing. Pointing to an alleged this is one of those things, right? Like implying with no evidence that Milagro was hooking up with Tory Lane's dad, all the while she has a man. Please. Pointing to an alleged text with Sunstar in which Sunstar allegedly gave Milagro direct instructions how to get into the security gate of his home, and the pair ended the exchange with "love you" texts. The courtroom theatrics have been ongoing. Tory and his attorney, Crystal Morgan, were found in contempt of court earlier this week and hit with thousands of dollars in fines. So that was the TMZ article about that. Let's go to the next Megan Acunative tweet. Daniel Kinney of Rock Nation testified about brand opportunities for Megan that fell apart. So this is more financial fallout from T. Ferriss showing Megan this traumatic stuff. Activision Call of Duty. So this is the one where they were going to make Megan into a character in the game, or like, you could pick her as a character and she has a gun. And a Call of Duty is like a war game, like even it's in the title. You're doing guns, you're doing pew-pews. She was supposed to be in that game, but after the whole Tory Lanez thing, she didn't want to be in the game anymore. She pulled out because the day before the game was supposed to come out, or the day before she was supposed to sign the contract or something, she just found out that her character in the game would be able to be shot at. And so, understandably, even if you've never been shot at, I don't really want to be a character in a war game, actually. No. Ew. Unless I'm like the fairy godmother that comes and swoops you out of there and brings you to the playground or something. I don't want to be in that. But like, again, I'm just getting these weird tingles. Like, why'd she just find out the day before? Who's signing her contracts? What's she doing that she didn't find out till the day before? And on the day before, she didn't want to do it. Does really Meg, the actual Stallion, Pete herself, have the authority to just say, no, I don't want to do that because you could shoot at me? Or is that somebody else? Somebody else who maybe has the power of attorney to make those decisions, a guardianship to make those decisions. And I'm not pointing at anybody in particular. People come to mind: Desiree Perez, Travis Ferris, other people. I don't know. Other brand opportunities that apparently allegedly fell apart: Google Pixel, Just Eat's Takeaway, and the United States Women's Soccer Federation. Now, one thing I noticed missing from this list is the Kamala Harris campaign. Isn't that interesting? She couldn't do her Google Pixel ad. She couldn't do the Just Eat's Takeaway collab or the U.S. Women's Soccer Federation, but she sure did have herself up there with the Party City SpongeBob suit, talking about baddie, bougie, classy, sassy, bassy, whatever she was doing, looking absolutely insane, in my opinion. It was like spitting in the face of America, spitting in the face of Democrats, spitting in the face of Republicans, spitting in the face of everybody to have her up there doing that. It was like one of the signs of the times. Like if I was going to write a Bible, and like do analogous stuff, my Sodom and Gomorrah moments would certainly include I'm a ratchet, baddie, bougie, baddie, whatever, at the Kamala Harris campaign rally. And that's no hate to Megan Thee Stallion, because I would feel the same way if anyone did it. Cardi B looked equally as insane. I would put it right there. Just insane. At the very least, Cardi B just looked stupid, but Megan looked wopified. And she has chosen to align herself with the wopification of America. I mean, there's like a pre-wop and a post-wop generation, I feel like. Like, yeah, there's always been nasty songs, okay? Since literally the 1920s earlier, okay? There's always been nasty songs, not the first nasty song. Yes, I remember the neck and the back and the crack and all of it. Yes, I do. Okay. But it's one thing to be an idiot. It's one thing to be an illiterate, degenerate, stupid idiot, okay? It's a separate other thing to have your BBL crammed into some Skims, Party City Skims, SpongeBob outfit with your midriff showing and you in your late 20s, you in your 30s, and you at the campaign rally and it's like a clown. It was like a clown. And now I almost feel bad for her because I'm like, is she really agreeing to do this? Who is the guardian? Is this a guardianship situation? Remember those allegations with Ice Spice where they were like, she has intellectual disabilities and that's why she's able to be moved around Hollywood like she is because she's like vulnerable. And I'm not making fun of her. I'm also not a doctor. I think that was just rumors. Thanks for the 199 Max, but I don't I'm not reading that comment because it looks like you're trying to insult me. So um yeah, it's nasty. And don't forget, she said I'm stuck on Party City Party City SpongeBob. Let me see. I'm gonna go sexy business suit Halloween. I do blue with tie. I mean, this is yeah, here we go. Here we go. Fashion Nova. Okay, look. Not sponsored, please. Look, I mean, basically it's, we're here. We're like somewhere in this area, right? I mean, this is actually a cooler outfit than what she was wearing. But I'm just starting to wonder what's really going on here. Yeah, go back to Party City where you belong. Yeah, I know. Iggy Azalea also. I mean, all of them. All of them. I'm starting to wonder, are you allowed to be famous if you don't have yourself in some type of power of attorney guardianship? It's just things to think about. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, well, she had lost all these brand deals, but she still found it in her heart to go show up to the presidential campaign rally for Kamala and Batty Bougie Sassy and oh my god, y'all. I would play some of it, but I don't want to get copyright struck by Jay-Z's affiliates again. Megan ditched Call of Duty when she learned she would be a shootable character in the game. That triggered her, and she full stop said, I'm not doing this. There was some shade thrown at Nicki Minaj. In cross-examination, would you consider Nicki Minaj an A-list celebrity? Milagro's lawyer asked the Rock Nation guy. He said, in hip-hop, yes, please. What about Miss Pete? He said, oh, yes, absolutely. Something really weird is going on with my thing today. Okay. Then the Rock Nation person said immediately yes. Then he asked if that's just in hip hop, and the Rock Nation guy's like, no, in entertainment. So like that Rock Nation shill. And this is another reason why it's like, all right, so now I just truly can't take anything you say seriously. You're really sitting up there on the stand in front of an American jury of Americans and saying you wouldn't consider Nicki Minaj to be an A-list celeb. Basically, you would consider Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Pete, the Stallion to be more famous than Nicki Minaj. Like, it's just a laughable proposition. It's a laughable proposition. I just can't get on board with it in any way. It's funny. I didn't know we were doing jokes. I didn't know it was RuPaul's Comedy Hour or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in my RuPaul side of my brain. Since someone brought that up, go back to Party City. Why are you so by the orange? Look how orange you look, girl. Look how orange you look. Y'all, I have to mix white foundation in the winter time. I have to mix white. And if I don't, I'm orange. And I can hear Alyssa Edwards in my mind going, look how orange you look. If you know, you know. Anyway, what about Miss Pete? Yes, she's so famous. She's more famous than Nicki Minaj. Okay, LOL. Now I know everything else coming out of your mouth is bias. LOL. We got a shill on the stand. I didn't know it was a comedy hour, but here we are. I don't even care. I retweeted it too. I said, I don't even care if you're a Nicki Minaj hater. You cannot in any serious good faith say that Nicki Minaj is less famous than Megan the Stallion peaked, please. Please be serious. Be serious. Anyway, so there's reason Nicki Minaj came up that I'll try to include in the next story. So much info to sort through right now. Psychologist Lenore Walker began testifying a few minutes ago. This was yesterday still. Armand Wiggins has the context on why Nicki Minaj was mentioned. She got the Call of Duty role after Megan pulled out. So I guess that's supposed to be Nicki Minaj. It don't really look like her. I guess that's supposed to be her. I guess the only reason I'm saying it is her because this the pink wig only or the pink hair, I guess. But otherwise, like it like vaguely looks like Nicki Minaj. It's like whenever you put like a really blurry Nicki Minaj into ChatGPT and say, "Can you clear up this image?" and then that's what comes out. Anyway, Milagro's lawyer asked the psychologist yesterday, who's been a psychologist for 50 years. She's also a pioneering researcher on abused women about Megan's, quote, very public beef with Nicki Minaj to try to show that there's other reasons for Megan to be upset. Okay, so this is very important. Very important. Because here's Milagro's lawyer. All right, fine. You're saying that Milagro gave Megan Thee Stallion PTSD. Let's look at the other stuff that could have maybe contributed to that supposed PTSD, if we're even buying that that's real, right? And this is what defense lawyers have to do. This is her job. This is the Mark Agnifilo of the sides here. She said, okay, Miss Doctor, you diagnosed Milagro with PTSD. Excuse me. You diagnosed Meg Thee Stallion with PTSD. You're sitting up here testifying for Meg Thee Stallion. In your appointments together, did Miss Thee Stallion make you aware of her very public beef with Nicki Minaj? You've been made aware of that? Megan Cuniff says this is an attempt to try and show that there's other reasons for Megan Thee Stallion to be upset than her client Milagro. Do you know who Nicki Minaj is? That's Milagro's lawyer said. I once saw her on television, so I think I know who she is, said the psychiatrist. So the psychologists don't know who it is. Okay. So the public beef with Nicki Minaj, who wrote that song Bigfoot and put it out with the little teeny tiny high heel and the big foot, that didn't give her PTSD. It was Milagro with her 40,000. Be serious. Milagro with her 40,000 followers at the time, who also Megan wouldn't even know was making the videos if her own live-in friend didn't show it to her, from what I understand. So the psychologist, like, I don't know, I guess, maybe I know who that is. Nicki Minaj, yeah, I guess. Milagro's lawyer then had to explain what a diss track is. That's her right there, Lenore. She charges $5,000 a day to sit in court. Now, apparently, there was some side drama with this lady. And I actually enlisted one of my law school friends to try and get to the bottom of this answer. But apparently, the day before yesterday, this lady, Lenore Walker, was in the courtroom, sitting in the courtroom. And at some point, the judge asked witnesses to leave. If you're going to be a witness in this case, leave the courtroom. According to Armand Wiggins, this lady did not leave. He said, and he was in the courtroom, Armand Wiggins said, this lady right here, the expert, she sat her right behind Megan Thee Stallion the whole time. She did not get up and leave. Now, she was asked about this on the stand. Milagro's lawyer said, did you hear yesterday whenever the judge said for all the witnesses to get up and leave? Did you hear that yesterday? And this lady's like, yeah, I got up and left. Yeah, I heard that. And when I was asked to leave, I left. Armand said, that's a lie. Armand said, she's lying. I wasn't in there. I'm just reporting the different things I've heard. Now, Sorry, I had to send a text. So Lenore, I like literally don't even remember what I was saying. Someone texted me with their proximity. Okay, Megan Thee Stallion's supposed to be testifying today. She wears the same suit cut every day. She likes this like one style of suit with the like shirt, there's a little skirt tail on it. I'm trying to go in order though. This courthouse has chickens at it. Okay. So let's start. All right. We're gonna listen to some videos. Just shorts, little clip, not full videos. Okay. So we're still here on Megan Cunif's tweets. This was the last tweet we read. So I'm going to scroll up her Twitter, and then this is Milagro leaving. That guy right there, the white guy with the phone, he's TMZ. I saw him at the Diddy trial. Megan leaving. Okay. So here's a video that Megan Cunif made after the court yesterday.
3 just wrapped up in the federal trial over Megan Thee Stallion's defamation lawsuit against online commentator Milagro Grams. It was a busy day. We heard from Lenore Walker, the psychologist who evaluated Megan and says she has post-traumatic stress disorder. We saw deposition clips from DJ Academics, and we saw lengthy deposition excerpts from Tory Lanez's friend Caesar McDowell, who runs Unite the People, which is the legal services organization that first represented Milagro in this lawsuit. We also heard testimony from Megan's friend and roommate Travis Ferris, who testified about how all this social media vitriol really hurts and affects Megan. And he also testified about how he got her
all the social media vitriol that he shows to Megan. That's the part that's really just like, wait a second. No one's gonna push back on him for that. I mean, from what it sounds like, Milagro's lawyers didn't even push back and ask about that, which I'm like, what? Why?
Into a 1-month therapy facility that costs $240,000 a month. We also heard from Daniel Kenny of Rock Nation about brand deals that Megan could have gotten that she didn't because of all the PTSD she's experiencing from this. Now, Kenny mentioned Call of Duty, Google Pixel, Just Eat's Takeaway, and U.S. Women's Soccer Federation.
But not Kamala Harris.
He said that Megan actually had a deal where she was going to be a character in a Call of Duty game, but she backed out when she realized her character would actually be shootable. Thank you all for following my coverage. I am back at the courthouse tomorrow. I think Megan might testify.
Okay, so Megan is supposedly testifying today. So then she says, in my forthcoming article, I will make clear how bad Caesar McDowell's deposition was for Milagro's defense. So remember, Caesar's the guy who swooped in, was going to represent her pro bono, decided then not to, or they had some type of falling out. It didn't end up working out. And then, in the meantime, he did do a deposition for this case, and it's apparently going to look really bad. And I have had like a little bit of a theory, like a tinfoil hat theory this whole time, that Caesar McDowell, Unite the People, is a useful operative to come in, get your defense, get you, all invested, make you have, hope, optimism, and then just kind of sell you out or sell your information, give your information away, agent provocateur, agent infiltrator. I don't know. I don't know this man. I mean, he sounds unhinged. Doesn't sound like the type of person that I'd want to necessarily be like lock horns with. But I'm allowed to talk. I'm gonna use my rights given to me by God. So apparently his deposition looked real bad for Milagro yesterday. Forthcoming article will make clear how bad Caesar McDowell's deposition was for Milagro, because it's all about him coordinating with Tory Lanez on Milagro's initial defense and the press. And he was rude and crude. Caesar McDowell's deposition clips have much more evidentiary value than the deposition clips of DJ Academics. Well, this isn't legally speaking true at all. Now, in Megan Cunif's opinion, maybe that's her opinion, but like legally speaking, evidentiary value of a deposition of a third party who's not here to be questioned on it is just that. Now, the jurors may value or give more credibility to one or the other, but I don't see how Megan Cunif, without talking to them, would even possibly know. Deposition clips of DJ Academics, who actually behaved himself in stark contrast to McDowell. Now, I did ask Megan Cunif, again, shout out to her, because she's in there in the court. I can't do it. I'm telling you that right now. I cannot be at court. I cannot be at court. I can do it 1-2 days, maybe 3. I think I have maybe if I really absolutely had to, I could do maybe 4 or 5 days, like a week, and I'm going home. I'm not going back for a very long time. So shout out to everybody who's actually going to court, because I'm telling you, I don't have it in me, and I'm admitting it. So I mean, and again, I'm thankful that she's there and she's tweeting about it. So I asked her. Did Lenore Walker get up and leave when asked to leave? I said, is it true? To Megan Cunif, I said, is it true that Lenore Walker, that psychiatrist, stayed in the room whenever the witnesses were asked to leave? Now, Megan Cunif did not answer the question yes or no. She just said she's an expert witness, so that doesn't apply to her. I guess that is the referential to the request to get up and leave out of the room. Again, it was like a little bit ambiguous. I don't really know what that means. What do you mean that? So I reached out to my friend who practices law in Delaware. So it's not Florida. The court they're in is Florida, but he does practice in federal court. And, he knows about witnesses getting up and leaving and stuff. So I asked him this morning, like 6 o'clock, to get some more, because again, Megan didn't answer yes or no. Did the lady get up and leave, or did she stay in? She didn't say yes or no. She just said that doesn't apply to her. So it kind of made me think no. Now, also another important thing about the lady staying in there is whenever she was up on the stand, Milagro's lawyer asked her. She was like, did you hear the judge saying get up and leave? And she said, yeah, I got up and left. So Armand said that's not true. So there's like kind of a discrepancy going on from inside the courtroom. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. So I asked Megan, I'm like, did she leave? Did she get up and leave? And Megan said, she's an expert witness, that don't apply to her. But she didn't say yeah. She didn't say no. So I asked my friend, I said, hey, I have a question about expert witnesses in civil trials in federal court. Are expert witnesses supposed to leave the gallery when witnesses are asked to leave? Or are expert witnesses, and I put in parentheses, trauma expert, supposed to also leave? Like, are they allowed to stay in? Expert witnesses got to leave. They got to stay. Can they leave? I mean, can they stay? They got to leave. He said in federal court, I don't think expert witnesses are not typically sequestered. So I don't know if he means, I think they are. That's kind of ambiguous. He says, he cites a rule. Rule 615 says witnesses of any kind can be excluded from the courtroom upon a party's request to prevent them from hearing other testimony. But there are exceptions. One exception to Rule 615 applies when any person whose presence a party shows to be essential. So basically, if this was to be somebody that it's like essential for them to be in the courtroom when the testimony is happening. So they could be sequestered in theory, but they would need to be like a useless expert to begin with. But you're in a case about injury or abuse, I think it would be atypical for a trauma expert to be sequestered. And he added some other stuff. So still, even after asking my friend, and I didn't ask for any follow-ups or anything, because again, he's like, his expertise isn't even this stuff. He's like, more of a bankruptcy financial lawyer or whatever. But still, I don't know. Still, I don't know. And I don't know if this is gonna end up coming back to be something that the jury doesn't, are they gonna be asked to disregard everything she said? Is this something normal? Is this something typical? Is this something abnormal? Certainly seemed like Milagro's lawyer took issue with it because she asked about it on the stand, and Armand Wiggins said she lied. He said Lenore Walker lied. Okay. So yesterday was day 3. What we just read from Megan Cuniff was from day 3. Armand Wiggins, let's see, Kelsey. Okay, so the main points from day 2, the jury was confused. There's too many details. This is day 2. Okay, so this was from Tuesday. I'm just recapping. I'm back up on my notes here. The jury was confused on day 2. Apparently, they were trying to retry the criminal case over here in Florida, like they didn't already have and the thing is, they already got the outcome they wanted in the criminal case. They should have just let it sit there. Former head of Rock Nation Security was there doing security. Milagro actually came across really well in her testimony. Everyone unanimously agreed that she came across well on the stand. She had a lot of opportunities to explain herself, and she had exactly what she needed and wanted to say ready when it was time to say it. There was some issues with something about DJ Academics had broke or leaked something early about DNA on a pew. Now, another thing I found interesting, blink and you miss it, was about the Kylie Jenner aspect of the pool party. So Tory Lanez allegedly pew-pewed or was found guilty of pew-pewing Megan Thee Stallion on this fateful July night in 2020. After leaving Kylie Jenner's house, now Corey Gamble was also there that night. Apparently, other people were there. And, on the way home, Megan gets pew-pewed. Apparently, it was Tory Lanez. That's what he was found guilty or whatever. Now, I personally do find there to be some serious issues with the evidence, and I wouldn't be surprised if the case gets overturned, at least declared a mistrial and put back down for a retrial. But for now, where we're sitting today legally, he was found guilty by a jury, and it was affirmed on appeal. So this pew-pew incident happened after leaving Kylie Jenner's house. Now, why were they at Kylie Jenner's house? And this summer, I started to read the depositions from that case. And I was like, wait, isn't this right around the time of the WAP? The WAP music video? Who was in that WAP music video? Cardi B. We need to go back to the web. Because Cardi B has something in common other than WAP with Megan Thee Stallion. That is Cardi B has something also in common with Megan Thee Stallion, and that is that she too has sued a blogger in the past. It was Tasha K. Tasha K lost the defamation suit filed by Cardi B. Now we got another WAP participant, Megan Thee Stallion, filing this defamation case against Milagro. And she lost. Tasha K lost. So apparently she still owes, or she owed, Cardi B some money. I didn't follow that case at all. I don't know if it was or wasn't defamation, but apparently, she was found to have defamed and owed her like $4 million or something, a lot. A lot. Okay. So let me go back here and see what else has been updated. Okay. So that was the last thing we watched right there. This is the chickens. Okay. Good morning, she said 6 hours ago. From Miami for day 4 of the trial. I'm at the courthouse and I'll let you know what's going on. And then she posted the chicken. Okay, let me pull up my notes again real quick. So that was day 3. DJ Academics leaked or broke something. Oh. Okay. Day 2. That's why I started this. Whew, okay. So apparently, according to testimony on day 2 of the trial, whenever Tory Lanez arrived at Kylie Jenner's house, he was, according to testimony, or according to reporting of testimony, He was greeted at the door with Kylie and Meg the Stallion, and they were saying, "Welcome to the P word party." The P word that ends with the SSY at the end. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Of course, I wasn't there. I wasn't even in the trial to hear it be said. This is like eighth hand information, but that's what I heard. Welcome to the PP party. There's also some speculation. I think this was Donat who said this. Why Cardi B can't publicly beef with Megan Thee Stallion is because it was a WAP rap party, meaning WRAP, not rap, rhythm and poetry. Was Cardi B at this rap party? Was Cardi B at Kylie Jenner's house that night? They were calling it a rap party, not rap like the music genre. Rap like you rap the music video. Was this a WAP rap party? And I've been asking this for months. I know Two Frames is in here. Oh, Nicki Minaj also sued a blogger. Shout out to Make It Make Sense memes in the chat. Shout out to Make It Make Sense memes in the chat. Cardi B might get that money. Want to know why? Because they on a payment plan, Venus. Nicki also sued a blogger, Nosy Ho. Okay, interesting. Yep, she's on a payment arrangement. That's what I read. She agreed to never mention her again, but she has to pay over $1 million in damages. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I've been attacked by people that would love nothing more. They would love nothing more than to have it where I can't never say their name again and to make me have to pay them $1 million. I don't have $1 million. Okay, I can tell you that. I'd have to be on a payment plan for a real long time. Anyway, so still trying to get to the bottom of the guardianship situation, still trying to get to the bottom of did Lenore Walker get up and leave when asked to do so? And did she lie when asked about it? Those are answers. Those are questions, answers to which I do not have. But the rap party, I mean, I asked that. Two Frames, I know you're in here. I don't know if Kaylee's in here. I don't know if Opinions is in here. Or what does it come with facts? I think come with facts is there. No, I don't know. I know y'all remember me asking, wait, hold on, wait. In real time, I was trying to piece together, what is the relation of this? When did WAP come out? I was typing it. I was looking it up. So that was the day 2. The beep beep party right after the WAP video. Okay, all right. Then there was day 3. That was yesterday. Let me pull up Armand Wiggins' video, because I want y'all to hear him talking about the lie.
Did Megan Thee Stallion ever tell you that she collaborated?
I don't care if you like or hate or anything in between Armand Wiggins. You lying. You lying if you say he's not entertaining. He is so entertaining and funny. Okay. Did you... Okay, here we go. Okay, this is coming. It's straight from somebody who was inside the court room. All right, it's Armand Wiggins. Turn the captions on. Let's speed it up to 2.5 times the speed. I did link his videos down below. I don't know if it's this video. Okay. So I have a little transcript here. He's talking about this lady getting paid, how much she gets paid.
He said, no, I'm actually getting paid my day rate. I'm getting paid $5,000 a day to sit here on top of the $24,000.
So again, he's talking about Lenore Walker. She's the battered women's trauma expert. And she also diagnosed Meg Thee Stallion supposedly with PTSD. This is a public record at this point because it's been being talked about in trial and stuff like that. So she's charging $5,000 a day.
That they've already paid me. They said yesterday, the judge asked if there were any witnesses in the room. They need to be leaving. And you were a witness and you sat here and you watched my client go through examination and cross-examination and you didn't leave. And she said, no, I don't remember that. I mean, they told me to leave and I left. She lied.
Oh!
That lady sat on that front row behind Megan Thee Stallion that entire day. The lady lied. We looked at her. I saw her. I saw her with my own eyes. She was sitting there. She did not get up when that announcement was made. She sat there. So you listen to that whole testimony. They said, so I guess, I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it's called. Hello, doctor. I don't know. You guys probably know. But pretty much the girl uncovered that she never actually met Megan Thee Stallion.
So that was pretty unequivocal. He didn't stutter. He didn't waver. He didn't skip a beat. He said she lied. I saw it with my own eyes. So I don't know. I wasn't in there personally. I wasn't in there, but I'm very interested into finding out what really went on in there. Did she leave? Did she lie? Did she stay? Did she lie? Now, I want to play y'all something else from another content creator who is there at the trial. This is Donut. Again, I understand, some of y'all might like him. Some of y'all might not. I don't care. He's inside the trial. And I'm going to listen to what he has to say. And you know what? I was listening to his coverage last 2 days. This morning, I was listening to this video, and he said something so profound. I'm going to play it for y'all. He's taken issue with, as well, with Travis Ferris. I forgot his name. Travis Ferris coming out and being the one to share the stuff with Megan. So she diagnosed her, but she never in person met her. Yeah, that came out at the trial yesterday too. Okay, so I have linked below. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is it Donut or Donut? I'm sorry. I really truly don't know. But this is him right here. And it was around the 40. I linked one of his videos below. It might be this one. 40 to 44 minute mark, somewhere around there. So let me go around the 40-minute mark. It was about the Travis Ferris stuff, and he had something really insightful to say, and I wanted to share it. And also give him a shout out for going to trial and going to the court and stuff. Because again, y'all, it's hard. Like, it's really hard to do it. Because like, not only is just going to the court difficult because there's like haters, there's evil eye. You got to protect your energy. You got to protect your physical. Like, I'm in physical danger when I go because deranged lunatics and beasts try to scream and squawk at me. Like, I'm in physical danger when I go to court. Like, I'm in physical danger when I try to cover these cases. Like, I am literally still traumatized from those beasts. Those inflamed beasts that attacked me in such a vile and, in my opinion, illegal, unlawful way, infringing upon my rights, trampling and tramping. They were screeching so loud inside a federal courthouse, it was echoing. Lying about me too. And it's just like, I'm so used to getting lied about. It's just like, no, I definitely think Milagro is being lied about to some extent. Because I know it firsthand. Maybe if these freaks and these beasts didn't abuse me so badly, maybe I would be able to be like, oh no, Milagro, she just must be doing it if everybody's saying no. No. Nope. I don't believe it. I need to see the proof. Okay, so he's talking about, with friends like that. I'm gonna just let him take it away. But shout out to him, and I did link his channel down below if y'all want to follow him, and I would suggest that you do. If you do go over there, you can tell him I sent you and just be nice. Don't say nothing mean. If you say something mean, then I'm gonna join in the lawsuit against you.
Constantly under attack after being shot. And T. Ferris sent her a Psalms Bible verse. He wanted to make her feel better, so he says. And then he sent her messages about upcoming shows that were ultimately canceled multiple times due to Megan's depression. And then T. Ferris would try cheering Megan up, but over time, his words and Bible verses became ineffective. Then on December 12, 2022, Milagro on her Twitch screen, she talks about Tory Lanez jury pool, which was day one, basically saying that the women outnumbered the men and claims that the jurors wanted to sleep with Alex Bott and they took a liking to him because he's handsome, and even said Alex Bott can get the draws if he wanted it.
As you can see, he sat in court all day. Then came home and was on live for 2.5 hours. So, golly, shout out to him. I don't have it in me. I could do this for one day, probably too. No. So he's just giving his rundown. I'm trying to wait for the part. I got it on 1.5 the speed right now. I'm trying to wait for the part that I like wanted y'all to hear, and then I'll maybe slow it to 1.25, but just let me get to the part.
And then they was talking about March 7, 2025. There was a review of Tory Lanez song where Milagro was happy that she got a shout out and said it was all about her. And T. Paris shared it with Megan. And Tory referred to Milagro Graham as Mamma Mia, you calling me to get the scoop. And then another Twitch screen where Milagro was saying Megan ruined Tory's life. And then T. Paris shared it with Megan. At this point, I underline shared it with Megan, right? So I tell my supporters and people, for instance, there's somebody here that I'll be like, don't send me nothing about this person. Don't send me no Ninja Turtle. Don't send me nothing about this person, because now I feel like you're interfering with my mental health and you're playing with me.
I don't think he said Ninja Turtle. I think that the captions didn't get what he said right. He said, I'm like stuck on Ninja Turtle. Why does that say that? He's saying when he was taking his notes in court, he circled it. He circled Travis Ferris is the one that shared it with Megan. He was like, huh. So he's sitting in the court. He's sitting in the court. So if he had that feeling, maybe the jurors did too.
Been with her since 2018. You don't know her mood and her temperament, and you're asking what's really making her mad. Anyways, then Megan stated to T. Ferris, according to him, that she was constantly under attack after being shot. And T. Ferris sent her a Psalms Bible verse. He wanted to make her feel better, so he says. And then he sent her messages about upcoming shows that were ultimately canceled multiple times due to Megan's depression. And then T. Ferris would try cheering Megan up, but over time, his words and Bible verses became ineffective. Then on December 12, 2022, Milagro on her Twitch stream, she talks about Tory Lanez jury pool, which was day one, basically saying that the women outnumbered the men, and claims that the jurors wanted to sleep with Alex Bott and they took a liking to him because he's handsome, and even said Alex Bott can get the draws if he wanted it.
Alex Bott can get the draws if he wanted it. Yes, indeed. So, he's talking about how like at court yesterday, it came up Milagro talking about the jurors of the Tory Lanez criminal trial. And now here's the jurors of her own trial listening to her talking about the jurors of the other trial. Apparently that was like a mic drop a moment yesterday, where it was like the jurors was kind of meta because the jurors were evaluating Milagro doing commentary on social media about the jurors in another case. And she was like, one of them, Alex Bott could get the draws. All kind of girl. I wasn't there, but he's just kind of walking through that. And I do think that's kind of a funny sort of like meta moment.
And then they was talking about March 7, 2025. There was a review of Tory Lanez song where Milagro was happy that she got a shout out and said it was all about her. And T. Ferris shared it with Megan. And Tory referred to Milagro Graham as Mamma Mia.
One thing about, y'all are saying it's Donut. One thing about Donut in my 2 videos of his that I've watched, he does say some stuff. Like a lot of times people are like, you don't even know what da-da-da-da-da mean. You don't even know what 6-7 means. You don't even know da-da-da-da-da. He says some stuff I actually don't know what it means. I don't know what the Ninja Turtles has to do with anything. He also said something about dozens. He's like, these white lady judges don't even know what the dozens is. And like, I'm kind of used to being like, oh, not me. I'm not one of them white ladies. I know what that is, cousin. No, I don't know what in the hell he was talking about. I'm in with him. I don't know. I want to know. I'm wondering. Who is Alex Bott? I don't know who that is. I know Alex Spiro.
You calling me to get the scoop. And then another Twitch screen where Milagro was saying Megan ruined Tory's life. And then T. Ferris shared it with Megan. At this point, I underline shared it with Megan, right? So I tell my supporters and people, for instance, there's somebody here that I'll be like, don't send me nothing about this person. Don't send me no Ninja Turtle. Don't send me nothing about this person, because
I don't know what
now I feel like you're interfering with my mental health and you're playing with me and you're gonna get blocked. And I actually blocked that person. I'm like, if you love somebody and you care about them, why would you send them information that is in opposition to them? It's not because you want, like, especially in Megan's situation, why would she even give and pay Milagro time of day by even responding in a rap song or any way, shape, or form? Why would you send somebody that you love and think you care about something because you want them to crash out for your own entertainment purposes? Or you're probably doing that in T. Ferris's case is because
he's preaching. Okay, he's preaching. I'm gonna let him keep going. Why would you do this?
You yourself feel insignificant, and you feel like if you tell Megan this, then you're getting cool points. And then as it went on, we learned that Megan is addicted to social media. And I told you guys yesterday, these rap girls are weak. From Cardi B to Megan, stay out of the comment section. Stop looking at this. And I was like, if T. Paris is supposed to be Megan's
someone said so basically don't send him something he don't want to see. No, that's not what he's saying. And I don't know if maybe you're like doing this on purpose or maybe it's just like an accident. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But like, he's not saying don't send me something I don't want to see. There's like a very large, we'll go, let me do this. Let me do visual aid in case people are better with that. Okay, we have a bucket here. Actually, it's an ashtray that I use as a jewelry dish for my brooches, but we have a bucket here. Okay, you see it. There's this bucket. Here's all the things can go in here that I don't want to see. Okay, like child material, people getting hurt, Steve-O's feet. You know, we're putting all the things in here that I never want to see in my life. Now, here's a smaller, this is my camera lens cap, but we're going to pretend it's also a bucket. See how it's smaller? This is the stuff I don't want to see because it has something to do with me. This is hater material. See how that goes in there like that? There's a lot of extra space. You see how much extra room is there to move around? All the other stuff I don't want to see, y'all can send me that if I must see Steve-O's feet because it's in a video I need to see, etc. But if you are just trying, if you're just trying to only show me stuff of a hater, it starts to wear down on your seeing the stuff doesn't wear down on your mental health as much as seeing the people who's supposed to love you send you this bullshit. What do you want? What am I really supposed to do? And that's what I asked that recent person. What am I supposed to do? You're bringing me drama between two other adults. First of all, that's not my kids. That's not my family. I don't need to be involved in these two adults' drama or their disagreement. It's nothing to do with me. I have ignored the person who keeps trying to make it my problem because it's not, and I refuse to allow it to be my problem. And now you're using your proximity to me to bring me the information. The information getting to me was like 40% of why I was mad. 60% was because this person refused to respect my boundary that I had already put in place. It's like, I don't feel like I can trust you. I said, I don't want to hear about or from this person. And you keep not only telling me about them, but you sending me screenshots of shit they said, forwarding it to me after I've told you it's a violation. It's two infractions. Yeah, I don't want to see it. Kind of hurts my feelings if Milagro was making videos saying it looked like I had a potato under my wig. I would probably be a little bit hurt feelings. All right. But then if everybody and their mama and my mama, you know how much stuff, hater material my mom sends me? None. You know how much she's ever sent me in her life? None. So the people that really care about you aren't sending you that because what are you really supposed to do? Once you put it on my desk, I got to do something about it. I am trying to liberate the free world. Okay. I have things to do. I don't need to hear from the losers and the peanut gallery, okay? Whenever something is important enough that it comes to my doorstep in a bulletproof vest, then we'll talk about it. Until then, if I've told you to leave me alone with this person and you don't, I don't trust you now. So it's like it's like a betrayal and whatever bullshit the person online is saying, which who cares? And that's my opinion. That's how I consider it to be. Bigger fish to fry. Exactly. Okay, so let me let Donut continue on because he is cooking, he is preaching. I'm gonna go back 10 seconds. I got it sped up.
Megan is addicted to social media, and I told you guys yesterday these rap girls are weak. From Cardi B to Megan, stay out of the. And you feel like if you tell Megan this, then you're getting cool points. And then as it went on, we learned that Megan is addicted to social media, and I told you guys yesterday these rap girls are weak. From Cardi B to Megan, stay out of the comment section. Stop looking at this. Well, and I was like, if T. Paris is supposed to be Megan's big brother and have her back, why are you sending her this stuff? Why don't you? And you was there. You're the one, T. Paris, that's the big brother that was there when her mother spoke her dying wishes for you to look after her daughter.
Listen,
Why
yes.
aren't you regulating the entire team to collectively come up and say to the entire team, listen, stop sharing this shit with Megan? You, as somebody who's bonded with Megan through her mother's death, you should feel comfortable taking a bigger chance to tell her no, even though she's rich and can get whatever she wants. Like, who really cares about you at this point in time, Megan? I'm like, if T Ferris really cared about you, he would tell you, girl, you better like stop looking at this. I'm gonna take your phone, get off of social media. Okay, you don't need no doctor, no therapist. You don't need to spend $240,000 at a doctor's office.
Nobody is not taking my phone. I'm gonna say I don't agree with that one thing you just said. I think he's meaning it like, ha ha he, like I'm your friend, like I'm gonna take your keys so you can't drive. Like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, don't make me take your phone. Get off of that. Let's have fun. That, yeah, totally. But like, you know, they got people out here in Florida that really take their friend's phone and then they put him in a Baker Act. Y'all know that? I found out. I found out.
Tell you to get off the phone. Milagro ain't reach out to you. Milagro ain't got a fraction of success as a Joe Budden, the DJ Academics, Aiden Ross, and all these other people who pretty much said the same thing that she had. Milagros keep going and going and going and going and going and focus.
Right.
Even me, as a micro influencer, like I get harassed and bullied every single day online, and y'all know it. So I have to develop a coping mechanism to filter that out in order to continue to go alone and get rid of that person. This is why I tell y'all, don't send me nothing. You're gonna get fucking blocked. And I'm gonna start hating you because I hate you just as much as I hate that person who said it, because now you're putting that in my atmosphere. And now you're asking me to take out whatever it is I feel like saying and doing to them on you, because that wouldn't be in my atmosphere. It wouldn't be on my mind. It wouldn't be on my docket if you, as somebody who's abusing your privilege to be in a proximity to me, did not tell me. So I was personally offended when he testified that he kept sending Megan all of this information that Milagro was saying and justified it and said, if I didn't show it to her, somebody else was going to show it to her. No, you're being a messy fucking...
His way of thinking is not weird at all. I completely agree with his way of thinking. I co-sign it. I agree with it. I'm doubling down on it. I affirm, I confer, all of that. Not confer, affirm. What's the thing that they do in, it's escaping me, the Supreme Court? It's like, it has the syllable fur in it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't think his way of thinking is weird at all. I completely agree, because there's two different kind of like zones of individuals. Once you start to become some type of like content creator, influencer, where like some strangers know who you are, you get two groups of friends. There's kind of like family level, like inner circle, ride or die, people you trust with your freaking social security number, and everybody else is in the fan zone. That's it. That's it. It sucks, but you become callous and you learn that people will try to use you, because you might not be doing this stuff that you're doing for clout. I'm not doing for clout and clicks. I tell y'all every day, I don't make videos because y'all want to see them. I make them because I feel like making them. I'm not asking and polling the audience what to talk about. I'm not, I got to keep my finger on the pulse so that, no, I don't give a shit. I don't take sponsorships. If I was trying to do this to make money, I promise you'd be hearing about VPNs and gambling games all day, because the messages are in my inbox. I'm doing this because I feel like it. Yeah, it's nice to make money. I do have to make some money somehow. And thank God he has seen it fit. The one true God has seen it fit for me to make some money so I can do this and continue to do it. But like, I'm not out here like, oh, what do they people want to see? What are they going to? So that being said, I can't let people into my inner circle, into my like basically like family level circle, people I would basically trust my social security number, who don't get it, who don't understand exactly how I tick, who don't understand exactly how I work, even if they have the best of intentions. So I think what he's saying is true. It's, in my experience, absolutely what you have to do to protect your mental health. Because you know who's not embroiled in a legal battle with Milagro Grams? Me. You know who's not involved in a legal battle with Milagro Grams? Donuts. Megan the Stallion is. And it might be because she was pestered with this material by her inner circle. I do have to wonder if Travis Ferris had pestered Megan Thee Stallion instead of Milagro posts, instead of with those, had pestered her instead with, for example, Bigfoot comments, would they be suing Nicki Minaj right now? Because there was a lot of comments going on that were not very nice. I don't know. It's just things. Concur. It's concur. Whew, thank you. Concur. It's a confer. I was concurring. I was like, I confer. No, that's not right. That's not right. It just didn't sound right. Concur. I don't know why that word escaped me. Okay, let's hear the rest of this analysis from him, which I do agree with. And that's why I wanted to play it with y'all for y'all.
Is what it is. T Ferris is a messy bottom for that. And I hope he sees this. And I hope he sees it. I hope he sees this. And I hope he's personally offended. And I hope he make a change. Like, that girl looks to you as a reflection of her mother's dying wish. So T Ferris, you have a lot of influence, power, and control in your proximity to Megan. Why aren't you being a big...
I'm just seeing that trustee of the trust that owns the house, or the trustee that has the mortgage, but he's the trustee and has the deed. Now, technically, Megan owns the trust, so I guess she owns the house, but he's the trustee. So, from the public documents I saw, so it's a lot of power and influence that he has over Megan. I mean, I want to know, does she have somewhere to go if she gets into it with him? Like, if she gets into a fight with him, does she have a house that's not connected to him as the trustee with the mortgage? And how hard would it be for her to get rid of him as a trustee? I have questions.
Brother, and putting your foot down, telling everybody to stop sending Megan this, and I'm not going to do it anymore either. And if anybody on social media send me something that the opposite, I don't care if you've been my moderator for 2 years. I told you don't send me nothing, and you decided to send it to me, and you think it's cool because you decided to violate the trust and the faith that I had in you not to send it to me. And now you sent it to me, even if I'm engaging with it somehow, shape, or form. I've already identified to you that this person or this particular topic is offensive to me, and it gives me PTSD, and I don't want to talk about it. But you keep on coming around and, oh, we cool. Oh my gosh, I love you. And every blue moon you send me something about the op so that you can get more content out of me and get your rocks off the laugh. It's painful for me to even address these people. It's painful for me to even listen to it and look at it. It slows me down. So you can send me something today and I engage with it, and I'll probably be like, okay, everything is cool. But I've already asked you not to invade my mental health, and you decided to do that. So you're on a time, your time is ticking before I ultimately say, get away from me and block you, because I already told you, don't bring that shit into my atmosphere. Woo! Even if you can brainwash me and dupe me to engage with it right then and there, you're not thinking about the long-term consequences of how you're fucking with my mental health.
Nope.
So I was personally offended to know that T Ferris and Megan is like this. And then today when
I agree. I concur. I co-sign in every way except taking your friend's phone, but I think he was just joking about that, like, rhetorically. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, like, it doesn't, like, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, like, it hurts me or brings me pain to see this stuff, but that's something that has developed over years of being online. Like, at first it did. At first it really hurt me. It hurt my feelings that people would get close to me for the purpose of screwing me over. And then they could lie so easily. Like, it hurt, like that betrayal felt like someone died. It was so painful. But then I kind of started doing like affirmations and just realizing that like people ain't shit, truly. And very, very few like random, strangers online for sure can hurt me. Very few. And if they do, it's because they did something probably illegal that I'm going to sue them for. So, other than that, yeah, it does invade your mental space, because it's like, oh, I didn't even know there was a person over there. Like, people will email me, oh, did you see so and so and so and so made a video about you? Da 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 da. I mean, this happened, I think, with like the situation where that one sociopathic lunatic accused me of doing drugs on my stream. She said God appeared in her living room. God appeared in her living room and told her that the reason that I used this makeup brush to scratch my nose, like I don't have 6 layers of products on here and allergies, instead of going after my nose like a ravenous beast, instead of acting like them, I like And I was on live for like 7 hours during the Diddy trial too. It was like all day. So, I had the setting spray and the powder and the whole thing. I'm like full glam. And half the time I had COVID. And I scratch my nose from time to time because it got itchy under these lights. I'm allergic to most things. She said God told her I was doing drugs. So I ended up having, you know what I did? I went down to the, what's it called? Quest, the other one, LabCorp, whatever these places are. And I took a hair follicle test. And I went ahead and proved that I wasn't doing no damn drugs. I've never done them drugs in my life. She was accusing me of doing, never will. If I have anything, I mean, you can't help what people put in your drink, but never have, never plan to. I'll say that. And really, I mean, I'm not trying to act like I'm better than anybody, y'all, because what I'll tell you is I probably would like it. That's why I don't try it. Because then what are we going to do? I like it, now what? So if I just never try, I won't know. But I ended up taking a drug test and made a whole video about it. And I'm glad I did that. It was expensive. I had to pay over $500 of my own money to take that drug test. But it was to prove a point. It was like slightly petty, but it also pissed me off because she was saying it was God. God told her. God said, look, you know what that is. God, that wasn't God, baby girl. That was a demon. That was the voices in your head. It might have been a medical condition, but it most certainly wasn't God. The hair follicle test don't agree with God in that case. Anyway, I have reason to believe that Donat, sorry, I don't know. I still don't know I don't feel confident saying that name. I need to hear him pronounce it. It seems like she doesn't have a support system. It's like, no wonder she's in the freaking $250,000 rehab that he got her into. Shout out to the 225. Shout out to Baton Rouge. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. Go Tigers. Yeah, he did say that about that. Messy. Yes, he did say that. I'm just going to not say that because I don't want to be, kicked off the channel. Kicked off the platform, girl, but he did say that. I have reason to believe that he got into it with some of those same inflamed beasts at the Diddy trial. Now, I don't know for sure what the story was and all that, but I do know people do still have like issues, from lingering from the Diddy trial and having to do with him. Now, to hear them say it, he was always the problem. But now I'm realizing that same group said that about me. So that makes me curious. Anyway, okay. So what else? So that's what I wanted to do. One of the things I wanted to show y'all. I did the TMZ article, T. Ferris' biggest problem. Okay. So day 3 points, the ones I took away. T. Ferris is the biggest problem and caused the trauma. Even Armand Wiggins said that in his coverage as well. Even Armand Wiggins and Donat agree. Donat agree. T. Ferris should have sat there and ate his food and kept it quiet. Why do you have to run over to re-traumatize this poor trauma victim? I mean, why? Megan Thee Stallion is telling you this is causing her deep distress. She's getting up and leaving the room. She's going off to another room to grieve every time you show her one of these posts. And you come out the room, here you're showing her again? That's cruelty. No. And then he might be the trustee / maybe also possibly was or is a guardian. Now, again, he said he wasn't. I don't know. I'm not saying he was. But Chelsea apparently told that to Milagro. The Call of Duty skin that came up, the Call of Duty Megan Thee Stallion, she pulled out from doing it and Nicki Minaj did it instead. Now, interestingly, everybody and their mama is saying that Meg Thee Stallion couldn't perform these deals and she couldn't do her shows and stuff because of Milagro. But apparently, there's no actual proof that Megan The Stallion ever said that. Now, I'm saying this at 3:27 p.m. on Thursday, November 20th. Meg Thee Stallion was scheduled to testify today. So she might have said that by now. I haven't gotten word from inside the courtroom. It's not televised. But the last I heard from the day 3 points were Megan Thee Stallion herself never said Milagro is the reason why I can't perform. It was Travis Ferris and Lenore Walker. And who said that? Now, I don't know. I wasn't there. That's just what I was hearing. And then, just because he ain't a guardian, don't mean he ain't a trustee. All right. Now today, who needs enemies but friends like that? Indeed. Real recognize real indeed. Fit check. What am I wearing? This is, hold on. This is not a full outfit. I have on this. It's called a corta. It's kind of like a long shirt, and I have on gray sweatpants. It's called a corta. If you want to buy one, this one's custom made from India, but they sell them online. Kurta. Most of the time, they come with pants called pajama, corta pajama. That's how you would say that. We get our English word pajama from Punjabi. Did you know? And it's because of the pants, corta pajama. Anyway, okay, so that is the fit. Who does T Ferris work for? Is a great question. I really do not know. Okay, so today, who is testifying? This is day 4. A former moderator. A former moderator who's turned. And y'all, it all came flooding back to me. And is it coming flooding back to you now? Is it now coming flooding back to you? Do you remember at the beginning of this live stream when I showed y'all evidence? Now that was never a mod. She was never a mod. But when I showed y'all evidence that someone who claimed she clicked follow and subscribe, and all of a sudden everything she ever did was my freaking problem. And then the other thing going on with the mod situation, one of the mods trying to get another, like a drama channel to make a video about me. Another one of my mods volunteering to testify for Bam Margera's family against me while she was my mod. Now today, Milagro got one of her former mods testifying against her. And one of the things that he said on the stand is almost verbatim, almost like it was a script of what that carnival clown freak said about me in the HBO hit piece documentary. And it's like, wait, hold on. Is this just a narrative push package you can buy from somebody's weird ass PR firm? You could buy some crusted, dusted mod to be a mod, to infiltrate their way into your mod. What? And again, listen, I wasn't there. Maybe Milagro is guilty of everything she's ever been accused of. All right. I don't freaking know, but just, I'm biased. I would not be a fair and impartial juror on this case. I'll tell you that. I'd be like, who got this mod? Who flipped this mod? Who paid this mod? Again, I don't know. I never met these people. He might just really hate her. She might have did really something wrong to him, but it's feeling a little bit familiar because he said specifically something like, it's like people don't use their brains. They just go with whatever she says. That circus freak said the same thing about me on the HBO hit piece. He said it's like people just do whatever she says and listen to her. That was first of all, was false. I don't tell people what to do. Only thing I tell people what to do on is don't go over there and send any hate. Don't do anything crazy or illegal. And if you do, I'm going to testify against you. I will join the court case against you. Don't go do nothing crazy. That's the only thing I tell people to do or not do, is to not do crazy stuff. So, whoa, he's saying that it's like people don't even have a brain and they just listen to whatever Milagro says. Well, then why don't you put them people on the stand and in the defendant line? I don't like it at all that what other people are doing is getting held against creators, content creators in courts of law. Because I've already had to fight it off myself to the tune of about 800,000 something US dollars. And I win every time. And that circles you back to the beginning thing. It's like, I am sympathetic on the one hand as somebody who's been harassed and stalked by groups of people, lied about in court under penalty of perjury, bullied and harassed. I do definitely have sympathy for people who are in that position. But at the same time, I'm somebody that likes to be able to speak and use my God-given voice, my God-given right to First Amendment of free speech. And I feel like it's strange that exactly the same allegations that came against me, I mean, it's like a script. It's like almost verbatim. In the HBO hit piece documentary from a deranged circus clown, a low IQ, squishy ass frontal lobe, crusted at the cornered ass mouth, looks like he smells like mold, looks like he is the embodiment of mildew, while I am the embodiment of light and liberation. Acted like we were somehow associated to say I'm a cult leader People do everything I tell them to do, and it's like people can't say no to me, and they lose their mind around me, and they just don't. Somebody said the same thing about Milagro on the stand today. Hold on, that's very specific. I have questions. I need the transcript. I need the transcript at this point because I don't know what happened in court, didn't happen in court. We got all kind of different versions of the story. Is his name Noir? Noir Emil? I think so. Squishy ass frontal lobe. Head ass. Okay. So let me see if I can find a little bit of insight into what was being said by him today, but oh, breaking news 1 hour ago, real quick. Side note, David's story. Steve Fisher said, because of the volume of calls and emails I've received following TMZ's reporting from an unnamed quote source, I need to state that for legal reasons, I cannot provide any further public comment on the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case at this time. This is not permanent, but for now, this is the situation. My client's goal and my goal remain justice for Celeste. So, what's going on with that? I don't know. The T. Oh my God, I have to look into that. Okay, so let me go try to see what's been said here today in court today. Let's go to Armand Wiggins. He doesn't tweet quite as much. He does more videos at the nighttime. Milagro legal team mentioned Nicki Minaj diss record. This was from yesterday, trying to show Megan doesn't go after larger platforms. Megan Thee Stallion only goes after the smaller platforms. That's what they were trying to show. This is yesterday. Armand said T. Ferris takes the stand and says Milagro Cooper could be in the Guinness Book of World Records for biggest haters. Oh. T. Ferris reveals that Milagro had Megan so stressed with every post that she would go into her room and not speak to anyone for hours. So much that she ended up spending almost $250,000 for 1 month of therapy. Again, who's showing her these things? They had Megan Thee Stallion's Rock Nation rep on the stand, and he shaded Nicki Minaj. Is Nicki Minaj an A-list celebrity? In the hip-hop community, he said. Is Megan an A-list celebrity? Absolutely, the Rock Nation shill said. And again, this is where he lost credibility for me. Nothing else he said after that matters. Anyway, okay, there's the Nicki Minaj. Megan Thee Stallion's Rock Nation rep also revealed that Megan was supposed to have the Call of Duty skin first. But Megan pulled out due to PTSD. So they gave it to their competitor, Nicki Minaj. So apparently, and this is according to Armand, but T. Ferris didn't really want to answer their question. He was kind of hesitant to answer it yesterday. The lawyer, Milagro's lawyer was like, okay, so, who got the skin? Who got the character in the game instead of Megan then? And T. Ferris is like, they gave it to our competitor. And then Milagro's lawyer is like, okay, cool. What do you mean? Who? It was another female rapper. And this is me paraphrasing from Armand Wiggins, who's probably paraphrasing or whatever, but go watch his video from last night. He did a live stream. But then he's like, it was another female rapper. And then Milagro's lawyer is like, who? And finally, T. Ferris was like, it was Nicki Minaj. Womp womp. So that was a moment yesterday. This is his live from yesterday. I did link his channel in the description box. This morning, 5 hours ago, he said he was running late, but I just heard my name slightly came up in testimony today. This is from today. Child Milagro's former moderator, Noir King, had a complete meltdown on the stand this morning. It was so bad we had to take a 5-minute break. Milagro's former moderator and friend, King Noir, testified that Milagro Cooper would have her people dox and look up addresses on YouTubers. Armand Wiggins was one of the YouTubers doxed or looked up an address for. Now, I do think, Armand, I like Armand. I do. I like his coverage. I've never really met him. I saw him in person at the Diddy trial, and I was walking and he was walking, and neither one of us stopped. And it was like, I don't even know if we moved our hands. I think it was like I think it was a little like this. It was like a little more than like but it was like, that was us meeting. Okay. We did not speak. But again, I don't care. You like him, you hate him, you love him, you whatever you want to say. He's a very entertaining individual. He's funny. Okay. So also he's engaging. He can keep your attention in the story. There was that whole More Oil incident, which I'm sure, he regrets, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But anyway, so point being, he's in the court now. All right. He's in the court now. And he's saying that Milagro's former moderator is up there testifying that Milagro would have her mods look up people's addresses and dox. So for me, these are two very different things. Doxing and looking up an address is not the same thing. Okay. And it's kind of like a little ambiguous. Like, did she have you doxed? Like she went out and shared your address, or she just had someone look it up? Because it's not illegal to look up someone's address. Armand Wiggins, Tasha K, and Storm Monroe. Okay, Storm Monroe is another content creator on YouTuber. He might stream other places elsewhere. I don't really know. He also covered the Diddy case and pop culture, lawsuits, this, that. But I'm just so sorry. I'm so jaded. Truly, I'm cynical at this point, because how do we know this mod isn't just a hating ass liar? Is there any evidence of this? Do you have any proof other than the clout chasing mod? And look, listen, if this person was really abused or something by Milagro, then shame on her. Truly, I don't know these people. I've never heard the name King Noir till today, but I am biased. I have been screwed over, betrayed, lied to, lied about, schemed upon. And it's like these mods, there's a certain type of person that wants to be a mod, not all of them, because you'll see I still got mods, and obviously don't feel this way about the ones here, or they would not be my mods. But I think it's a type of person that wants a certain type of person within the subset of people who want to be mods, that the reason they want to be mods is because of drama, power, proximity, control, being able to compromise, being able to put you under surveillance, being able to report back to your ops. I mean, there's all kind of reasons why somebody would want to be close to even somebody like me, a very small, I would barely call myself an influencer. Okay. I would more call myself a YouTuber. Okay. Very small YouTuber compared to the million, level. I understand I'm very fortunate to have the platform I do. I'm a very big YouTuber compared to some people, but the point isn't to blow my own horn, okay? The point is to say Megan Thee Stallion is orders of magnitude more famous and influential than me. So who's trying to get in Megan Thee Stallion's circle? These parasites and low-life scavengers have somehow found their way to my little bitty channel when there was only a few followers. So think about the orders of magnitude that the grifters might be trying to come around Milagro, who's going after Meg Thee Stallion. Another thing Armand Wiggins said, which I found to be very important, was yesterday when that guy was on the stand, they asked that Rock Nation rep, they said, "Do you know who Milagro Cooper is?" She said, the rep said, "Well, I didn't, but yeah, I know who she is now." And Milagro's lawyer's like, "When'd you find out? When'd you find out who my client is? Like, what's your point of reference for knowing who it is or whatever?" And he said, "Well, I found out about her in about January when I found out we were going to sue her." That was 9 months before they sued her. So then they asked, "Okay, what do you know about the lawsuit?" Or what do you know about the client or whatever? And apparently the Rock Nation rep was like, "Oh yeah, I've read some of her articles, a journalist." The lawyer was like, "Did you read any of her articles?" And he said, "Yeah, oh yeah, I read some of the articles." Like Milagro, the gag is Milagro doesn't write articles. She makes videos. So they had this Rock Nation rep up there saying that Meg Thee Stallion is more famous than Nicki Minaj. I can't keep a straight face. Meg Thee Stallion is more famous than Nicki Minaj. And also that Milagro Grams is writing articles. Okay, well, those are two things that I never knew before yesterday, but I guess apparently, according to the Rock Nation rep, he might need a brain scan. I don't know. So apparently there's also like a lot of backstory between and amongst Milagro and this Noir King guy. So that only further strengthens my bias of like, I've shame on me if you fooled me twice. He has, according to Jamila Shalimar, when Noir fell out with Milagro, so they had a falling out. That was her mod, and they got fallen out. He said on Station Head he was going to ruin her. And he was going to give information to Megan. And I believe it because I have had this happen to me. Thank God. Thank the one true God and also my own home training that there wasn't really nothing to give. Like I said, I might have said somebody breath stank, and it probably did. So maybe it was something I wouldn't have said to their face. Maybe it was something that wasn't kind, but probably the breath stank, and probably you needed to do something about the oral hygiene. I'm just saying. Envy said, I never remember her doxing anyone. Linnea said, Noir is lying. He is obsessed with Milagro. He's also an actor. Keep that in mind. Okay, interesting. He wanted to run her show. He came up in depositions, didn't he? Is it Linnea or Linnea? Wouldn't her being a journalist make her a media personality, which is against the plaintiff's claims that she doesn't get media protections? No, I think she was ruled not a media personality for the purpose of this case. I don't know, though. Please, if somebody knows better than me, please let me know. Okay, so today, that guy is on the stand. Now, I don't know. I never heard of him before today. Please, I'm not making any of these allegations as if it's a fact. I'm just finding this stuff out like as we go, and I have bias, okay? And the bias is making me have theories and conjectures and suggestions and questions. Milagro's former moderator and friend testified that she would have people dox and look up addresses on YouTubers Armand, Tasha K, and Storm Monroe. I don't believe that until I see evidence personally from the reasons of my bias. And if I stand corrected, then I stand corrected. Former moderator testified that he reached out to Armand Wiggins. Look at Armand tweeting about himself in the third person. Reached out to Armand Wiggins, but he felt that he had too many messages. So he deleted the message. I guess I don't know. Did the mod delete Armand's message or Armand deleted? He deleted the message to Armand. I don't get it. Okay, let's go to Megan Cuniff and see what she has said about today. I really don't know, Alicia. Like truly, I really don't know. Like, can someone be found a media personality for the purposes of one thing and not another? I think it all just has to be decided by like a court on a case-by-case basis. So maybe she should be considered a media personality. Maybe she shouldn't. I truly, I don't know. Thanks so much to Vanity Lux for the $10 super chat. People also ignore that Carl Crawford from 1501 was suing her and Rock Nation for poaching around 2019. Is that what you meant as well? Is that around the time when you said it? He also is on a recorded interview, flat out saying, listen, Megan is a liar. Interesting. Thanks so much to Belinda for the $2 Canadian super chat. Brilliant use of an ashtray. I do. Look, I got my brooch back in it already. And I have a ring. Like, does anyone else have a ring that kind of looks like, what do I have in here? I have this brooch. I have this ring, which is like a vacation ring. Does anyone else have a ring that looks kind of like your ring to go on vacation? The one on the top is the fake one. It's like a cubic zirconia or a moissanite, I think. Anyway, I got that in there in case I leave this downstairs and don't feel like going. And then I got these earrings that my Mimi gave me. These are the family jewels. These little sapphire earrings with like, I think CZs or white sapphires around them. Anyway, that's what I have in my my dish. I call it a jewelry dish, but like if you really look at it, it does have like little divots right there. That makes me think it's an ashtray. But why would you want to put ashes in something so cute? Where's it from? This is a thrift store thing. Actually, I think I got this as a gift from somebody. This is a cashmere. Oh, tree of cashmere. Shout out to cashmere, but it was made in England from bone china. By appointment to Her Majesty the Queen. China Potters, Paragon. I think this is a vintage find. But somebody gave me that. Anyway, so I keep it as a little jewelry dish right there on my desk. I have a few of those. I have all kinds of little knickknacks around. This is a shell. This one's like a oyster shell. And then it's like decorated with decoupage. And then I have like a magnet, another brooch. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Let's see what's going on in here. Oh my God, what is going on with this freaking thing today? Okay. Oh yeah, we're going to Megan. What's her name? Cuniff, to see what she said about what was said today in court. Okay, 2 hours ago was the last time she tweeted. I gotta sneeze. Okay. Okay, this is good morning. Let you know what's going on. We already read that one. In the call, Tory Lanez started by saying that Megan Cuniff B word, but then he said lady. I hope to get this and other trial exhibits after the verdict. So then she does this picture. Megan the Stallion walks into the federal courthouse in Miami this morning for day 4 of trial in her defamation lawsuit against online commentator Milagro. Now today thank you. Listen, she took notes. I told her yesterday she needed to have a tote or a briefcase. She needed to have something big enough to carry some papers in, big enough to carry a notebook and a pen in, even if there's no notebook in there. She took notes. Slay. It looks much more like she's ready to go to court too. And the titties ain't out. I said that yesterday. The 2 criticisms I had yesterday, she's fixed them. This is a flawless court outfit. I do still think the nails are a bit much, but there's not really much you can do about that. I mean, she would need to go get the appointment done. So the titty cleavage is put away. Shout out to her. The suit, it does fit impeccably. I like it. It's purple. I like it. I don't mind the suit at all. And she's got her like Louis Vuitton briefcase and big enough for a notebook. So look, I can't complain. She took every single piece of advice that I gave her yesterday, and it looks good. The hair looks good even. I mean, it all looks good. It looks good. It looks like she's going to court. She'll have no jewelry on even. I would have told her she could wear a little pearl necklace, something like that. Anyway, but I think she looks good. Okay, she says she's finishing her article. All right. Trial is okay. So this was 5 hours ago. Megan said trial is in an abrupt recess after Milagro's former moderator, Emil Holland Briggs, began sobbing on the witness stand as he testified about his decision to quit amid mounting disagreement over Milagro's approach. He quit because of Milagro's approach, or maybe it's because he couldn't run the show, or maybe who knows what the lawyer got up there, what Milagro's lawyer got up there and did. But this is 5 hours ago. Holland Briggs, I guess, is this King Noir? Is it the same person? He was testifying about all the awful stuff going on online when he just broke down sobbing on a stand. He said people were talking about unaliving, and it just weighed me down. I tried. He choked up. He put his face in his hands and he wept. The judge gave the security officer a box of tissues or some tissues to give to the witness, as Megan's lawyer also took tissues to him as well. Holland Briggs turned in his chair away from the jury with his back to the gallery, and he began sobbing audibly as the judge decided to call a break. By the way, it appears that Megan's Quinn Emanuel lawyers got the memo that they don't need to make this trial about more than a man shot a woman and his foul-mouthed proxy has been harassing her about it for years. Because John O'Sullivan told the judge this morning that they may rest their case today, with having closing arguments be tomorrow. Megan Cuniff said, I don't think closing arguments are going to happen tomorrow because the judge already said something about a juror needing to be off tomorrow afternoon. Attorneys wanted to dismiss her, but the judge said no. They'll do a short day tomorrow and return on Monday. So the judge probably didn't want them to start deliberating before Thanksgiving. This does happen. This happened in the Diddy trial, although it was a criminal trial in a different district. There's a tendency for jurors to not want to come back to jury duty after the holidays. They want to be done with it. There was the July 4th deadline in the Diddy trial. So in this one, they're like, we don't want to no, we're going to come back after Thanksgiving, the judge is saying. Some of the cross-examination from Milagro's lawyer to her former moderator was about trying to show he actually had a falling out with Milagro over her exposing his romantic relationship online, but that backfired, according to Megan Cuniff. She's like it's super helpful for Milagro to have jurors also hear about her cyberbullying this guy too. And I think that I see where Megan is coming from and stuff, but if you're going to hold yourself out to be a journalist, and this is just my opinion, this is not legal advice, you need to be careful about just throwing out allegations like this, because don't forget, please don't forget, one of the reasons Milagro is behind is in that chair today is because she just implied or suggested that Megan lied on the stand or committed perjury. Now, I'm not saying that she did that. I'm saying what was supposedly, allegedly suggested. So Megan Thee Stallion is suing Milagro for 3 things. And one of the things is Milagro said Megan P lied on the stand. That's perjury. That's accusing her of a crime. So here's Megan Cuniff right here accusing somebody of a crime. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's all fun and games and it's all content for clicks until it's your ass that's getting sued. And so I'm never going to be talking about I got cyberbullied without saying in my opinion. Because unless somebody was found to be guilty, you can't really say they cyberbullied. That's a crime. So again, Megan Cuniff, she's, knows a lot more about this case and these people than me. And she definitely don't need me to hold her hand or tell her what to do. And I would never purport to do such a thing. However, Milagro is getting sued. And we're all talking about it. Over 700 people in the chat right now. In part because Milagro pretty much said that there was perjury. Pretty much implied there was some type of lying on the stand, which is a crime. So now, Megan Cuniff and me and all of us better be happy. Everybody don't have Megan Thee Stallion suing money. Now, where is Megan Thee Stallion getting all this money? That's the question I want to know. I want to know, where is she getting all this money if she's having to spend $250,000 for 1 month of therapy? If she's having to drop all these brand deals. She just got it like that? Shit, must be nice. Must be nice. Anyway, the trial is on a 10-minute break. This was 4 hours ago, so I'm sure they're back from the 10-minute break now. The witness on the stand now is Sean McDermott of FTI Consulting. He was detailing all the deleted texts in Milagro's phone. So remember, there was deleted text messages. There was a group chat deleted. We're on a lunch break. This was 3 hours ago. After seeing about 7 minutes of deposition clips from Tory Lanez in prison. Megan said she thinks the purpose of those Tory Lanez clips was to show jurors how combative he was and how he refused to answer questions about Milagro. Biggest stuff this morning was definitely Milagro's former moderator's testimony that was devastating for the defense, Megan Cuniff, who is inside the courtroom, said. We also saw clips from Tory's dad's deposition. That was Sunstar Peterson. He preached in the beginning and declared the presence of Jesus Christ in the room. Megan said, I'm eating lunch right now and I'm feeling relieved that we apparently won't have to see any deposition clips from Aiden Ross now that Quinn Emanuel, which is Megan's law firm, realized that they needed to trim the fat. So the jurors are getting bored. People are saying, no, he actually wanted her to lie. And stuff like that. Shout out to Diamond Rainbow in the chat. Haven't seen you around in a while. Good luck at the doctor. Okay, so let's go back here. let me see if anything else. That was 2 hours ago. They Megan Cuniff was eating lunch and saying they're not going to be playing any of the 48 seconds ago. She tweeted. Megan Thee Stallion testified for about an hour and 45 minutes. Breaking news. As of 48 seconds ago, Megan Thee Stallion has testified. She testified for about an hour and 45 minutes. They are on a quick break. Now she's going to be cross-examined by Milagro's attorneys. Quote, everybody thought I deserved to get pew-pewed because I talk about sex and I twerk and I drink. Okay, this is interesting because according to Armand Wiggins, what's his name? Travis Ferris yesterday said he never saw Meg Thee Stallion drinking. Okay, that's weird. I definitely don't believe that. I don't believe that could possibly be a true statement. But Megan Thee Stallion is done testifying for her own self. So her lawyers called her first. Remember, the plaintiff's side makes their case first. So she came up an hour and 45 minutes. They're doing a quick break, and then she's going to come back and be questioned. Now, the only quote that we really got from Megan Cuniff is, quote, everybody thought I deserved to get pew-pewed. That's not a quote, but you can read it. Because I talk about S and I twerk and I drink. I don't think that. So just in case anybody is wondering my opinion, I do not in any way believe at all. I don't count as everybody. Okay. I don't count as everyone. If you talk about S and twerk and drink, I talk about S and I probably have twerked and I definitely, from time to time will have a drink. So I don't think that everybody doing that deserves to be shot. All right. That's the truth. I don't think Megan Thee Stallion deserved to be shot. I do not think that. And it's a depraved and deranged thing to think. Now, did Tory Lanez even touch that pew-pew? The DNA didn't say for sure. Yes, it's inconclusive. I don't know. I don't know. But what does that have to do with anything? Her deserving to get pew-pewed. We're here because you allegedly either did or didn't lie on the stand, and Milagro said you did or didn't. Maybe there's a conspiracy going on between Sunstar, Daystar, and Milagro, or maybe not. We got to get to the bottom of it. The jurors do anyway. And maybe there was some defamation about perjury. What in the hell does other people thinking that she had to get pew-pewed have to do with anything? And the thing is, y'all, too, they already won that case. There's no reason to relitigate all of that stuff. She doesn't have to say, oh, everybody thought I deserved to get shot. She should have said nobody thought I deserved to get shot. Anybody that did think that something was wrong with them. She's telling the jury that the common belief was she deserved it. That don't sound like a good strategy. And it's starting to make me wonder, one of the reasons that they're mad at Milagro is Milagro called Megan, or speculated that Megan might be, for lack of a better term that I can say here, mentally incapacitated. It starts with an R. So it starts with an R. Milagro's like, maybe she's R word. Now, is that a nice thing to say? Well, maybe not, but you have the First Amendment right to say stuff's not nice. I was just not talking about somebody's breath stank or whatever. Like, you're allowed to say, speculate, somebody might be. Now, is it nice? No, probably not. But hello, wake up. We're on YouTube. You're a famous person, whatever. Who cares? And again, I'm not going to be calling nobody R word. But what Milagro said was, the reason I said that was because I was told she had a guardian. And at somebody her age, only time I ever heard of a guardian is if there's a severe and profound mental problem or a corrupt conservatorship. She said, I hear guardian. I don't think guardian angel. No, I don't. I think Britney Spears. I think Wendy Williams. That's what I think of. So, Armand has tweets up too. Okay, let me look at his tweets. Or I don't know if he does or not. Somebody's telling me to look them up though. Let me see. He has tweeted. Okay. Megan testified that Milagro Cooper is a stalker. Again, I've been called this. Every single time Lima Yevrimovich or one of her associates tries to get a restraining order and then it fails, every time she's tried to go on a big, huge YouTube channel with millions of followers to talk shit about me and lie, she calls me a stalker. Bitch, I don't want to be near you. I don't want to be in the same state with you. How I'm a stalker. I don't want to be near you. I don't want to be near. I don't want the demons to even be that close to me. Nope. No. But it's just like they just throw these words around. Stalker, cyber stalking. You're a harasser. You're my stalker. She's going to tell my stalker. Oh my God. Shut up, you whining, lying bitch. Shut up. Shut up. The thing is, y'all, I'm so nice. I go out of my way, so far out of my way not to do anything. Like, if I really wanted to let loose on these people, they wouldn't be able to sleep. They'd be so distraught over just my words. Of course, I would never hurt them. I don't even know how to hurt people, okay? I probably should take some type of self-defense class. If anything, I should be scared of her. She's the one that's doing martial arts. But she calls me a stalker. A stalker. Now, why do I think she's doing martial arts? Because she said that, or Buzz Mingan said it on his podcast. Okay, that's why. Megan, this is another tweet, threw some shade at Joe Budden. So Meg the Stallion on the stand threw some shade at Joe Budden when asked why she didn't have the same smoke for him that she has for Milagro. He's got all these followers. Milagro is just a small commentary channel. Why you not go? Why you go after him like that? Well, Megan apparently threw a little shade, and she said, Joe Budden was a famous rapper with one of the biggest songs ever, and now he's a podcaster. And he only has 1 million followers. But he is already established. And Milagro is building fame off of Megan. Okay, so she didn't like that Milagro was supposedly, allegedly building fame off of Megan hate, which I don't know if that's true or not. I would need to see some evidence for that before I just boldface believed it. Because I personally, and this is my opinion and my belief, as you can see on the disclaimer down below, I personally do not find Megan the Stallion to be credible at all. I personally do not know if what's coming out of her mouth or from her accounts at any given time is the truth. And that is because she herself has not always been truthful in her telling of events of this case. At first, she said she stepped on glass. Then she said, actually, she got shot. Okay. At first, she said she didn't get into a fight with Kelsey that night. But then that testimony was contradicted by other people's testimony who saw them getting into a fight. Allegedly, I wasn't there. She also said 2 different versions of the story about whether or not she had romantically or physically, rather, hooked up with Tory Lanez. At first, she said, no, I didn't hook up with him. Then ended up coming to find out, yes, she did. So the fact that at least 2 times in the past, she said one thing and then ended up not being really the next thing she said, I don't know which one wasn't true. But it can't be the case that she did hook up with him and didn't. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so one of them has to be true. She either did hook up with Tory or she didn't hook up with Tory. It's like a yes or no. It's a binary, it's an on-off switch. And she said both. So they can't both be true. Can't be on and off at the same time. Additionally, either she did get into a fight with Kelsey or the other person's telling the truth. Now, they had credibility issues, so we'll put a pin in that. We'll put that to the side. What about getting shot? She either did get shot or didn't get shot. Now, according to what's been legally found, she did. But she didn't say she got shot at first. And then she had several opportunities to say it too. And she never said, she kept saying she didn't get shot. So that's my understanding of things. And for that reason, she's not credible. I can't take anything that comes out of her mouth in and of itself. I have like a piece of glitter. Oh, I bet you it's from that freaking this thing. So she admitted to lying to Gayle. Yeah. I mean, that's another aspect of this. Okay. So Armand said Megan testified Milagro had her to a point where she didn't even care about being alive. And again, I'm wondering why Travis Ferris, her friend and roommate, I am so concerned for Megan the Stallion with friends like Travis Ferris around. I mean, seriously. Imagine your friend is doesn't care about being alive because of someone's posts. Wait, I'll do it this way. Imagine you quote, don't care about being alive because someone's post, and your friend keeps continuously sharing the posts with you. WTF? Why he didn't get sued. Okay, I'll say that. Megan asks Milagro and academics. Oh, sorry, excuse me, says. So Megan Thee Stallion said Milagro and academics were both two people that have been targeting her for Tory Lanez. Now, before Alex Spiro or any Haptermarians get any bright ideas, I've never spoken to Tory Lanez or his daddy. Okay. Or communicated with them. I don't even know if I follow him. Do I follow him on Twitter? I don't even think I do. Megan just wrapped up her testimony. This was 10 minutes ago. Just wrapped up her testimony. And unless Milagro's team can pull a miracle during cross-examination, Milagro is cooked. Okay, so that's coming from Armand and also coming from Megan. It's sounding like today was not a good day for Milagro. Again, I wasn't in there, so I have no idea. I wasn't in there. Commenting isn't targeting, and that's the issue. That's very interesting. I don't know why and they're saying Milagro even blocked Megan, and these are grown people. I mean, these are grown people. Now, look, listen, here's the thing. One of the things she's accused of doing is sharing deep fake pornographic video, okay? And I definitely understand why Megan Thee Stallion would be pissed for people to be sharing that and promoting it. What I have a hard time understanding is why Megan Thee Stallion hasn't sued the person who made it or hasn't accused Milagro of making it. Like, someone has the ability to make that. Someone did make it. Someone did put it on a website. A website put it out. And you're sharing one blogger who liked it. Why are you not suing the website? Maybe she did. Maybe she did. Maybe she did. She should sue every person that shared it, they saying. I'm still processing the fact most of these celebrities might be in guardianships of some or powers of attorney. I do think most of them have a handler, and I'm just colloquially calling it a handler. I don't mean a legal guardian. I don't mean anything like that. I just mean, like, in order to become real famous, you have to have something, either a manager, a momager, a dadager, a friend from high school who's willing to play ball, who's willing to go all in and make sure your ass shows up where you need to go, who's willing to put your behind in the back of the car when you don't want to go to rehearsal. Like, someone has to be like I'm a handler. I think you don't become famous unless you have somebody who they're willing to work with, or who you're willing to work with that they can install. That's my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, no, she did. I mean, she did take my advice about the briefcase, and I'm telling y'all, doesn't it look better? It doesn't look like she's going to make a speech at an event now. It looks like she's going to court. Slay with your $4,000 suitcase. Might be 7, might be 12. I don't know. Maybe it's vintage and it's 30. But it looked much better. I loved that outfit. I would wear that outfit if I had to go to court. I mean, honestly, I don't really be dressing up for court anymore. Like, I just wear I just wear my clothes to court now. But like in my day, I told y'all I had to learn the hard way back in my day. What to wear to an interview, what to wear to court, what not to wear to an interview, what not to wear to a mixer. I'm gonna start making videos about that. I'm not even gonna, Jen. Oh, shoot. Wait, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I clicked the wrong button. If a managing mod is in here, can you unban Jen? Hold on, let me unban Jen. That was an accident. I was trying to hide the comment because I didn't want Rock Nation to sue me, but then I accidentally clicked the ban button because the comment went by too fast. Oh my Lord. Let me see if I can let me unban Jen. Okay, you're unhid. My bad. That was accident. She said maybe she's traumatized because it shows the body parts she don't want people. I'm not even gonna allow that speculation over here. I don't think that she's paying for this wardrobe. I think it's like, they borrow them. Rachie said, the real reason she's suing Milagro is because she points out all the discrepancies in the Tory and Meghan case, and other people were starting to look at the details instead of just riding the anti-Tory wave. Milagro was at first on Meg's side. That's a part of this story too that I think gets overlooked, is that at first Milagro agreed with Meg. She was like, so, I support women and all that. Yeah, or you just drinking too much and the handler makes you get home on time because you are the money maker. And I do wonder, if there's some type of guardian situation when that was put into place. Now, if it's in Florida, somebody did speculate, I wonder if that's why she went to Florida. They moved her to Florida. Like, it is kind of interesting why she's from Texas, but they got her in Florida. Was it for a Baker Act? Was it for a Marchman Act? Because, it's real easy to get them over there. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, I've been on here for like 3 hours, so I'm ready to go sit down and eat lunch at 4:13. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for today. I will come tomorrow or the next day back to wrap up. It seems like the trial might be over tomorrow. No. It's going to be probably on Monday. So by tomorrow, I think I will have. Yeah, tomorrow, maybe afternoon, I'll come on here because they're gonna have a short day tomorrow. So I'll cover the rest of, I'll go home. I am home, but like I'll watch all the videos from the people tonight, and tomorrow or my next video on it, I'll more heavily feature Pam Esquire, who's also there. And I just haven't gotten around to being able to show her videos yet, but I did link her stuff down below. So we'll give her the spotlight as well the next time I make a video about this. It was bait. I mean, that's kind of, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Fixins. One of these days I'm going to go to Fixins. It looks good over there. That's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. I don't know any of these people, and I most certainly was not there. Love you, Mina K. Bye.